the Cubs, and now the Dodgers. Well, they beat Chicago in 3 straight.
I think it gives us a little confidence. We have a very young club, as you know, guys that are in their second, maybe their third year. We don't have too many others than that. But, yeah, I think it gives you a little confidence. Friday will be here soon enough, and we have the Dodgers in town.
So L.A. is in first place, too. Manager Pat Murphy, also by a game and a half, also right ahead of their neighbor to the immediate south, the Padres. Logan Henderson pitches tonight against Justin Robleski. Game time is set for 6:40. NBA playoffs last night, a dominating performance by the Knicks. Josh Hart with 26 points to lead New York past Cleveland 109-93. The Knicks up 2-0 in the series. Coming up tonight, Game 3 between the Thunder and the Spurs. The Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, Biller for blitz. If it looks like man covered, I'll check. I'll go 200 yet. You got to cut and crack. Now it's cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
What we got to do? All right, that's all the board got to do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after and make the play.
Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C-puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, God, this man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Locked and loaded and ready for the Friday edition of the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin. Hello, friends. Welcome in. I'm Drew Olson, joined by Billy Schmid.
Tradition unlike any other. What's going on, man?
And Armen Sarian.
Good morning, guys. How are you? Friday, and it's 5 a.m. We're ready to rock.
Ready to rock.
You know,
It strikes me on the drive into the Megaplex here to do the show on 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere in the iHeart app, and streaming live on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Strikes me that in most cases, with, the occasional, albeit now somewhat rare exception, Friday is the first day of the series in the summer. Friday is the opener. Friday is the dawn of the series. It's the Brewers and the Dodgers tonight, for example. And most, like there are some wraparounds that start Thursday, but for the most part, Friday is the start. And yet here we are on Friday, which should be the mother of all getaway days because we're going into Memorial Day weekend. Folks, most folks are off on Monday.
the fall
So
weather's here.
You've either Thursday was getaway for you, and you did what our buddy Scott Dolphin from the country on the Hall did, took Friday and Tuesday off and extended it really long. And he bagged that week of vacation for just the cost of 2 days.
Veteran play.
But this is a great day to take off. Many do. And just extend this weekend, which is the unofficial start of summer.
Yeah, the unofficial start of summer and Memorial Day weekend is the greatest way to kick it off because it allows us to honor and remember those who have fallen and given us the lives that we have here, man. It's incredible to do. It's an incredible kickoff. Generally speaking, the weather can be somewhat of a letdown. I think it's going to be decent this weekend, and it is one of those as well where you take off today to kick off the weekend, or you're leaving first thing smoking, and you are really fooling them today. So I think there are some folks that, even if I did not think to do what Scott Dolphin did and have already put it into the back of my mind for myself to forget next year around this exact time to also miss it and not do the exact same thing that he did, there's a lot of folks that are waking up, going to work today, smiling, knowing this might be the least productive day they've had at work, since the NCAA tournament.
Like a mental vacation.
It's
like,
a good mental break.
FedEx UPS day where you lick the stamp.
Or as my dad used to say, "Oh, did I fool him today? Did I fool him today? I had him hooked."
Vacation from ourselves, George. That's what you wanted, something like that. And yeah, just one of those days when and we're not saying we're gonna do that. We're giving you three of the greatest hours you're gonna ever hear. I mean, we're giving you it all. We're gonna give 100% every segment.
We're not stealing money here,
right? Yeah, we're doing it. I mean, we're absolutely doing it. So,
that
being said, at 8:00, it's first thing smoking is what Billy said.
Oh, absolutely. So
you know what though? We'll be giving it to you for 3 hours. 3 hours, and then it's Denny's time. And then we're going to hit that grand slam, right?
My God. He just said, we'll be giving it to you for 3 hours. And then it's Denny's time. You celebrate a grand slam with a grand slam, is what you're saying?
I don't know.
This is not Armen. We're 5 minutes in. Armen said, we're going to be giving it to you about 7 times. So we're going to let you know we're giving it to you today. No pause.
Everything's coming up, 90s again. The Knicks are in the Eastern Conference Finals. They're up 2-0.
Oh, boy.
It feels like you were 10 years old again, so let's go to Denny's.
I hate to say we predicted that. Now, here's the thing, and again, being a smart, good-looking listener to the program and being a sentient human being and a person who considers their opinions and just fly off the handle. On the one hand, I want to say that the Cavs are cooked, and that I said it last night with Hunter and Dennis Krause on the Sports Round. Thanks for watching, guys.
They're an Easter ham, brother. Okay,
but I said that they were like. You hate to say it because I don't put a lot of stock in game ones in a 7-game series because you can get blown on game one, look horrible. Sure. It doesn't have a lot of bearing because there's a lot of real estate between you in the end. But the way the Cavs lost game one, I thought that was a series-altering, franchise-altering, potentially loss that they're going to look back on. And now they're down 2-0, and I thought to myself, well, if they don't win game two, they're cooked. And clearly, they don't have an answer for Brunson, and there's time to make adjustments.
That's the tough part. I don't know they got.
But the road ahead of them looks bleak, and especially now, game three is basically an elimination game because if you go down 3-0 in a series, you're cooked.
Right.
And so if they can win that, then you got to. Even if they get to 2-2 and have a breath of fresh air, they're going back to the Garden, and I still like the Knicks now, but
they're back in the land.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Intellectually, it's like, well, Cleveland's cooked. I could see them getting blown out in game three and going down softly. But
into the night.
At the same time, I have to remind myself of when we were watching the Bucks on their quest to the championship, falling behind 2-0 in hopeless fashion twice.
Yeah.
And then thinking that they were dead and we're shoveling dirt on them, going, oh, this is great. Well, what are I going to do now? And then they got up off the mat and won. So does Cleveland have the heart of a champion? I don't think so, but we'll see.
Yeah, we are going to be able to find out. And I'll be honest, they fought better than I thought they were going to last night, right? So, like,
at least early,
and I think they ran out of gas, similarly to game one and the overtime and the pair of 7-game series seem to be taking a little bit of a toll on them. So I don't know. The series goes long. I think it's a big problem for them. But you talk about the lessons the Bucks have taught us. I think the game one lesson is a beautiful one that you learned from the Milwaukee Bucks because even after coming back from down 2-0, winning game 7 in Brooklyn, come back and inexplicably drop game one to Trae Young and the Hawks at home. Right? Just in egregious fashion where it looked like
they were up 7 with like 2 to go, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, and Trae Young just did whatever he wanted. Yeah. He shot from anywhere on the floor and did whatever he wanted. And Mike Budenholzer's teams had been putrid in game ones of series. So they can be a little funny. I thought last night, at least Cleveland showed a little bit of intestinal fortitude. And they got a little bit of something going with their bigs and then just went away from it after the first quarter, which was hilarious to see. But the Knicks are, and I don't know if you see it every single year, every few years, they got the little bit of trips to Team of Destiny on them. Like they feel like they've got a little bit of the taste of inevitability right now. Albeit I don't think one of the best 2 teams. But you could very much see them getting through and winning one fluky game next round and then being able to pull out and win the thing in 7 in the finals. Like I had not thought of them as a legit finals championship team. But they just feel like they have a special sauce that might be able to get them over the hump.
Yeah, and to Cameron's point, when he was on with Stephen A. Smith, I almost never think of them as a legit finals team because they always find a way to screw it up. However, once Boston lost and the seas sort of parted for them a little bit, and they were able to figure things out and then start to dominate, and the Knicks started to dominate this playoffs, and I started saying, okay, this does feel like a team that can make the finals, albeit probably lose in the finals, but at least make it. To your point, not one of the two best teams, Billy, but they're probably the best. In the East, yes, this is probably their time now to make the finals. I don't see them fumbling the bag at this point. It would be pretty bad if they did, but I don't see them fumbling the bag to at least make it to the finals here. And probably, that whole like Philadelphia against LA vibe, they might win a game. That, when AI stepped over Tyronn Lue, they might win a game, but that would be it, I think, in the finals for them. But that's kind of the vibe I'm getting now from the Knicks, and the Garden Party and the fans in New York can finally get their Eastern Conference championship in this next week. I do anticipate it happening. How many games is the remaining question?
That is the remaining question. Hey, you can reach us 877-794-1973 with any questions that you may have. We kind of buried the lead because it's a big night tonight. Brewers start a homestand. Dodgers and Cardinals coming in. A couple of clubs that are playing well, historic franchises, if you will.
And the Cardinals, you want to talk about a team that's got a nice little special sauce rolling through them in the first 2 months. They've definitely like whereas Pittsburgh and Cincinnati have already kind of crashed back to earth. The Cardinals keep rolling, and Cardinals come in behind the Dodgers. And tonight, of course, I don't know if they consulted Armen on this, but tonight is boy band night.
Yeah, it's wild.
At the ballpark, the theme night. Themed boy band music, in-game entertainment, and the special theme night tickets include a Brew Crew Boys t-shirt, BOYZ, of course.
Yeah.
So my wife,
and then a post-game fireworks show.
Now, my wife was so excited when the announcement came out of boy band night that not only did we buy tickets immediately,
nice,
we got the shirts doubled up in her size so that she could have two. Because as exciting as I thought it was, I don't know that I was walking around with a boys band t-shirt on with Christian Yelich, Bryce Durang and company on it. Sweet looking shirt though.
You got it.
But it's going to be a hot night at the ballpark here tonight. And listen, I think you could very easily make American Family Field a little bit more of a raucous environment with the tunes that you play. Tonight, maybe not so. But Freddie Freeman looks like a guy that likes a boy band or two. Mookie Betts has got some rhythm, so I bet he'll be enjoying a little bit of the Backstreet Boys. Maybe we throw the boys in blue off their game just a little bit. Joey Ortiz definitely seems like somebody that is built for boy band night. So it's going to be an exciting one. But
Garrett Mitchell's a boy. Wouldn't you say Garrett Mitchell? He's like the matinee idol.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's Brian Luttrell. He's the Timberlake.
He had the dances going on with Haley and the TikTok videos. That's fair.
I feel like he's the one. And then Bryce Durang is the strong silent type that gives you no expression in the back.
And Sal's trying to act like he doesn't like any of the songs, but in all reality, he's singing out in right field to pretty much everything.
But it'll be a fun night at the ballpark with the boy band situation. We're already going Tuesday. We're going next Tuesday, so we didn't end up going tonight. Although the shirt looks pretty cool. That's a smart move by Allie there to get one in the rotation in case one's in the wash.
There you go. Yeah.
You said, by the way, you don't want that one, right?
Yeah.
No, you're good.
I think we're good on that one.
You're good on that one. Yeah.
So the weekend starts with boy band night with the fireworks show tonight. That's kind of cool.
It doesn't look like rain is going to impede the fireworks show like there was a little bit of worry about earlier on in the week. So should be an exciting one there.
And then on Saturday, they're giving away a red, white, and blue patriotic Brewers hat for 25,000. First 25,000 to show up.
I'm a fan of that one. Rock was a big fan of that hat on the broadcast. He was digging it.
Rock digs him some Memorial Day.
Also let you know that, Vinny, you're not touching this thing again. Sorry.
Family members who have served. Sunday, Brewers pennant kids giveaway. First 5,000 ticketed fans under 14 get a pennant on Sunday.
I like that. I mean, the pennant is something that's gone by the wayside over the years.
Bring the
pennant back.
On Monday, they got all kinds of stuff going on, but it's Dollar Hot Dog Day.
Which is the headliner, rightfully so. Yeah,
absolutely.
Dollar Hot Dog Day draws numbers to the ballpark. Also, Sunday, I believe, according to our friend Hunter Baumgart on his social medias at Hunter B on Air, Packers and Brewers fans can unite when Matt LaFleur throws out the first pitch. Any Bears still suck chance going on while Matt LaFleur runs out, or will they keep it to a go, Pack, go?
If we do it, it's only because the Bears have been doing it to us. The Chicago fans, I should say, have been doing it to us. So, we're clapping back. But other than that, that's the only reason. We're not in their heads.
That's right.
That you get. I had to clarify that because as any good sports rivalry now, it's all passive aggressive. You have to trip over yourself to remind everybody you're not thinking about it.
Yeah, right? It's them that care more about it. Would there possibly be, as I saw some in the comments on Hunter's immediate post, any smattering of boos expected?
That's interesting.
Question.
Well, people are always upset with Packers coach LaFleur. There's always people upset with LaFleur, so that would be pretty interesting to actually hear boos.
I think it'll be drowned out, but I do believe you'll get a couple in the 40,000 potentially there.
I think it's more likely you wouldn't get audible boos, but you'd get like the big uncle energy and dad energy of while he's throwing out. If this guy spent more time watching film and coming up with game plans than hanging out at the ballpark and drinking with Luke Holmes, maybe we'd be better than the 7th seed. You're going to have that in like every.
You'll get a few of those. That's for sure.
Everyone's dad and everyone's uncle is going to give you that, and maybe throwing the big A.
Coach, maybe not throwing that big hook. Maybe we should be figuring out how to throw a safety blitz in there.
Outside, I guess no one's going to hold them accountable for that pitch, the old A word, accountable.
Boy.
You love that.
Accountable.
Man, I saw that one floating around again. That was wild.
Always fires me up.
Yeah. 877-794-1973.
Yeah,
right.
Coach misses one. What was the problem out there? Well, it starts with me.
It starts with me.
The framing was good. I just missed my spot.
Funny. Thinking about that, think about the arc of Matt LaFleur now. He's gonna be down in Milwaukee, hanging out. He was shotgunning beers with the boys with Luke Holmes. And this was a guy who we wondered if he was coaching for his job. Well, some wondered if he was coaching for his job at certain points last season. And then he gets the extension. And then now we had the reports of guys weren't happy with their roles and all that. Is this a calculated PR effort to ingratiate himself and show up with the players and shotgun a beer? This was obviously.
It's a very good question, Drew.
This is obviously, I don't know if it's not out of the norm, but for LaFleur.
A little bit, though, right? I guess.
mean,
because I would say he would always have been at least open to conversation or open to being a little bit more of the fun guy, right? The first year he's playing basketball, popping his Achilles, playing hoops with the guys, but get back to a little bit of that after you've been in the job for almost a decade. I imagine that could grizzle you up a little bit, take you away from the fun action for a few years.
I would think so. So that's an interesting deal.
Also, with young kids, he does get to look cool, right? Get to throw out the first pitch. That's an easy yes, no matter how many times you get it, right?
Yeah, you got to.
I got to imagine Jordan Love makes the appearance just about every year, especially if he's cool sitting in the stands like he was this year. Now, maybe if he's not sitting, if he gets put in a suite, he'll definitely be here every single year. But LaFleur likes to find the opportunities to bring the boys down and give the OTAs a day off and flex a little bit of the old cannon. I imagine the old quarterback's excited to be able to get down there, but some of growing with the young team is being able to. I was listening to a really, really cool conversation that the Bussin' with the Boys guys had with Sean McVay, and he was extremely open, Drew, about how different he is now than he was even 3 years ago in the job, than 5 and 7 years ago when he was 30 years old getting a head coaching job. You're going to change and you're going to evolve. LaFleur wasn't too far behind. What was he, 37, 38 when he gets hired? So,
makes sense,
you're going to go through some ebbs and flows, but I do wonder if the rigidity around him maybe gets softened a little bit. And you find that you do have to be a little bit calculated as to when you let the guys in a little bit more, because especially the ever-changing player that they're coaching, that personal relationship and the caring and the fun factor, it's got to be there, because other college coaches have changed around young athletes. So once they get into the NFL, not that you got to completely acquiesce to them, but I do imagine there's a little bit of that.
Got to be.
There's got to be a little bit of openness, even more so, because the players demand it, and it's going to be such a culture shock to some coming when, as McVay joked about, I think their whole 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th round, all those guys took pay cuts coming to the NFL. It becomes a little bit of a different life than they were living 10, 15 years ago.
No doubt. We're looking forward to your interaction today. This is one of those Ask Us Anything Fridays. We're not going to mail it in, but we're going to do a pretty good approximation of mailing it in.
Yeah, we're just going to weigh it up on the scale, send it out, and see if it works.
Yeah, because, the Brewers didn't play. We had the NBA to talk about. We had the shocking news last night about Kyle Busch.
Brutally sad.
What
Awful.
an absolutely shocking news. We'll talk about that as we move forward as well, because I would confess all the time. NASCAR and I kind of pro wrestling, two things kind of outside my orbit, my sphere of I don't have the bandwidth to follow either. But what I do know, and I'm going to test my theory about Kyle Busch with people, and I want to know from our hardcore fans who love the left turns and the bull ring. And Billy's been to a NASCAR event,
been to a couple.
So I want to ask, because it is a set, and this was a shocking. This is you hate to like make comparisons of this level, but this was like the Kobe news kind of.
Couldn't believe it.
What?
Yeah,
very similar.
I found out about it when I was at an event last night that I will also tell you about.
Come on now, I'm excited for that.
Nudge, nudge. Wink, wink. We're just getting rolling. It is the Friday edition. It's a getaway day edition. It's a Friday into a holiday weekend. Let's have some fun together today. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Friday edition of the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison. Everywhere on that iHeart app. Billy, what are you chuckling about?
I'm chuckling at, I don't know what level of competition this is, but SportsCenter showing the goaltender for some, I'm thinking ECHL championship. My man hoists this cup up. 3 full pulls to be able to pull that thing over his head. And Drew, as he's proudly holding that championship trophy over his head, my man busts his stuff worse than anything I've seen in a long time. Almost just cracks his head open onto the ice, but miraculously saves the cup. That's what this time of year is all about. You got to protect that cup at all costs.
That's
in Montreal, trying to bring the Canadiens even closer to another cup for the first time in 30 plus years.
And,
last night.
Old Cole Caulfield scoring a goal.
Woo.
I saw that
instantly.
They jumped out at him early. That was a big win for them. Alexei Menachuk is the one that dropped the trophy, and he is playing for Lokomotiv Yaroslavl of the Continental Hockey League. That's, of course, in Russia.
Okay.
That's the Russian league.
Sweet looking trophy, though.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
That's an impressive looking trophy.
It's like a Timu Stanley Cup, almost.
A little bit like it, yeah.
Like if you got a toy Stanley Cup from somebody, and it was packed in that house. It's like 10 people in the stands there. It was crazy.
Strange. All right, you can reach us 877-794-1973. Getting any comments on the YouTubes? We were talking about the stunning news of Kyle Busch's passing. 2-time Cup Series champion. He won more across all the platforms than anybody. 41 years old. Just a shocking, tragic thing. Like the word that I heard, and it got to me kind of as it was breaking last night. Someone told me, it's like, wow, stunning. He stepped out of a simulator on Wednesday and was disoriented and like taken to the hospital. And then they announced yesterday, like he won't be racing this weekend.
His family put out a statement
with you,
yesterday morning around like 10:30, put out a statement saying that he was going through a serious illness, which required hospitalization, and that he would be out for this weekend's festivities. Because again, it's a huge weekend in motorsports.
Yeah.
Memorial Day weekend is a massive weekend in motorsports because you get the Indy 500, obviously, Coca-Cola 600 at Daytona 500, at the Daytona International Speedway, which is a different type of race, and he was gonna miss the entirety of it. He won the Truck Series race last week, and in the interview, Drew just almost like catches himself from choking up in the statement of the reporter asks him, why do you celebrate these so much, or why are these so monumental, and why do they feel so good each time? He said, because you never know when the last one's gonna be. And he has like a pause and catches himself. He's like, which I know all too well right now, going through some tough stuff. And you don't know what there's a lot of forecasting, a lot of wondering, a lot of questioning online. Had he possibly been sick? There's a lot of people with great interactions with him over the last couple of weeks at events, at autograph signings. And then like the guy looked far from sick. He had a bit of a sinus thing that was going on. And there's a lot of speculation and question to it, which happens when you don't have answers. And it is so shocking. There's a lot of ways that you could describe his racing ability and his competitiveness, but he was the ultimate in a singular person sport. The greatest. If he's on your team, you absolutely love him. If he's on the other team,
that was
freaking despise him.
Great
and
way
he
to
was
describe him. He was polarized.
So fun to splice into every single race, any single event. You knew that there was going to be energy when Kyle Busch walked out, whether it was good or bad, whether you loved watching him drive that peanut M&M car for so long, or you just hated his absolute guts like my mother did for so long. Even she's yesterday was taken aback and stunned. Like it was one of those where people love to hate him so much that you can't almost fathom what the races are going to look like without him now.
Yeah, nobody denied his talent though as a racer. He was a fantastic, obviously, racer, pure talent. He won a lot, that. And obviously, I always looked at those type of things, individual sports like NASCAR, as in a way with pro wrestling, you had to have heels, you had to have villains, you had to have heroes. And
that was exactly my thought. Is like he slipped in, like Dale Earnhardt had that too. Jeff Gordon, love him or hate him.
Right.
Totally.
But those guys made the sport better.
He
because
took the mantle of that. And then he was, the post-race fights, the feuds, the getting kicked off or leaving different motor teams, and going. Yes. So he pinged around. So he was, he was the, I don't know, like I saw him and I again, two sports I don't follow, but he was like a Bobby Heenan type guy, like
dude.
One of those dudes who, just a incredible, successful performer that agitated a lot of people.
Yep, great racer, agitator,
great racer,
ways, great. And if
you're right, you either loved rooting for him or loved rooting against him, but either way, you were rooting. So he had you,
His nickname was Rowdy, and I think in honor of, there was another the movie character, but I always thought of Roddy Piper because that was the exact same way for Roddy Piper. Of he would be in your stuff and in your kitchen all day long, but he was so good. Our guy Boss Dobler sent us a picture of him with Kyle Busch in 2005 at the Milwaukee Mile.
Wow!
Always liked his aggressive style and his no BS attitude. Gone far too soon, and it's just it's stunningly and shockingly sad. He just posted earlier this week, again, when he won this past weekend. It was his son Brexton's 11th birthday, and his son is an up-and-coming young go-kart and small model racer, and he just lived it, dude. And from everything and all the interviews that I've heard of him and been able to listen to, he dug the heel roll. Like he saw it he saw the possibility, saw the hole in racing, saw the possibility in the void that Earnhardt kind of left of that, and was like, I'll be your guy. Wait, we need somebody to mix it up.
And I think he saw it.
We need somebody to mix it up. I'll help you. And it's good for the sport when that kind of attractiveness and aggressiveness breeds questions and excitement and potential havoc.
And you got to have, and to come up in that world, you got to have confidence, you got to have brashness, you have to have fearlessness. And I think that attitude probably came with a little bit of that. He was one of those guys that when he came up, I mean, he was super young, but he caught the attention of everybody. He had that supreme kind of talent from a young age, and he brought that confidence with him. I think he saw that as the soul of racing in a lot of ways, the NASCAR soul of the old rubbing his race and the Intimidator, obviously, and all those legacies. And he was kind of probably in the back of his mind trying to, carry that on a little bit. And he wasn't afraid to mix it up, which I'm sure endeared a lot of people to him as much as didn't. It was one of those things, though. If you owned a team, you might annoy you from time to time, but you want him in your car during the race. You wanted him driving your car during the race because he was so successful and such a talented driver. So just a shocking loss for the community. And so
people are looking for, like always, explanations and stuff. And now some are connecting dots because it was a couple months ago that he had an accident at home and suffered a severe cut on his leg, like 24 stitch gash in his leg from apparently fell out. I heard ladder, I heard stool. He was changing batteries in a smoke detector and the stool broke or something and had this big cut and then 24 stitches and stuff. And you think, oh, that's no big deal. Right. But the people are saying, oh, that might have been. Then he reported that cold in the race at Watkins Glen, like you said, Billy. And folks are wondering, is it some kind of blood infection or sepsis or some kind of thing related to the big cut that he had? Or sometimes things like that lead to pulmonary embolisms. I'm no doctor. I'm no medical examiner. But people are they're trying to connect the dots. And it's because it just shocks you when a 41-year-old guy at the peak of his powers passes. And
it's just the questions. People have so many of them and nobody has answers right now. There'll be a time and hopefully something positive can come out of it where, some thoughts of, and this is true of anything, but guys a lot of times go without thinking that something is wrong. Like our friend Mike would talk about it time and time again in his work with the Heart Foundation of cardiology, that, man, you don't need to be proud. If you're feeling something and something's off, go and get checked, get it looked at, whether or not it's absolutely nothing or, it could lead to you finding out that there's something waiting and somewhat of a ticking time bomb. And no one knows. I mean, I saw a couple of people say that it was a sinus thing that was underreported as well. They could have led to something. I'll wait for all the medical examiners to come out with it, but it's a moment, man, where you just hug your people and realize that this life is not promised at all. And this weekend, walking into Memorial Day, you can think about it and be even more reverent for it. But you think that all of these moments in life are ahead of us, and if you don't soak in and enjoy each one, man, they're going to fly right by you, and you never know when the last one's coming.
Well said, Billy. I mean, nothing is promised in this world to anybody, and these are the stark, unfortunate reminders we have from time to time. And I think for a lot of people, probably on the outside, look at a guy like him, a NASCAR star, probably it looks like he has everything, and you say to yourself, wow, boy, it would be great. He has everything, but it's some things you can't buy, and some things you can't guarantee. And it's one of those things where every day is a gift because you don't know what's going to happen. And it does give that perspective a little bit to, like you said, Billy, hug your close ones a little tighter because it gives you a reminder of what things are important in life.
And having everything, Armen, and then also like I saw this from a number of different people, and growing up, my dad watches every single race, and my mom loves every single race. And Kyle Busch was one of our favorites to dislike because he was fun to dislike. There's also like an air of, and Wisconsin's own Matt Kenseth has this for a lot of people, that you get gravitated towards quarterbacks and running backs and point guards and 3-hole hitters, and they can become role models. And for guys that love sports, they're almost superheroes. When you watch race car drivers going 180, 190 miles an hour, flying through smoke, whipping through the track, and being able to walk away from these incredible, just mangled messes of wrecks, there's a little bit of a superhero thought that gets cloaked over them. And I think that's another tough part of it here, where you almost look at this sport that it breeds and builds superheroes, and that dude was a hero while also being a great villain. Like that's the other part of it, where he was a phenomenal dude. Everybody that had interactions with him, even the guys that had like great rivalries with him last night, almost felt bad putting it out, but said he made me so much better, and I enjoyed our interactions so much more because of how intense he was. Like it was a weird duality where you saw so many guys struggling with, wow, I hated this guy for so long, competitively and professionally, but I don't know what our whole community is going to be like without him. That's a wild moment to think of.
Especially because that community knows everybody. The families know each other, and that's immediately where you go and you think about, and your heart breaks for is the people close to them that, all of a sudden are left without him and have to try to process and make sense of something they'll never be able to make sense out of. And I think that's the hard part for a lot of people. When you see somebody that was, you drive a car that fast, there's got to be, you're seemingly, and you feel invincible, you feel those type of things. And to see this happen to somebody and happen so young, I think we all in life sometimes try and make sense of it. And that's why there's always so much, searching for cause and reason, and we have to be able to make sense of it somehow. And sometimes you can't, and that's just the unfair reality of life that it gives you sometimes. So nothing is promised, and all you can do is take every moment and appreciate it for what it's worth, and try and have the perspective of what really matters, right? And when we get reminded in these moments. So very sad to see an icon of the sport, no doubt, and he'll be remembered forever.
Yeah, and in the middle of the career too. That's even
right in the middle,
more shocking.
Yeah, that's where, like, you mentioned the Kobe, and it's not like a comparison, but a model or a thought back to it. It brings you back to that moment because like that's the caliber of star in that sport that you're talking about, right? Like, I mean, a generation's best of all time. But in the midst of his career is just it's stunning, it's shocking, and you just pray and think of the family, because
family,
they got young kids, man, and there was a lot of thought last night. There was a lot of those moments and a lot of sitting back, just realizing like that's a night to put your kids to bed. That's a night to sit back and think about it and enjoy every moment, because you just never know who's enjoying their last one and what people are going through. And guys, if you have anything going on, just go get looked at, go get checked. There's nothing against a couple of minutes, and it can change and save your life. So hopefully that's it. Hopefully it can save someone.
Well said, Billy. His last tweet was a happy birthday to his son, Brexton Busch. And it just breaks your heart to see it. Your mom and I are so proud of who you're turning out to be. The best kid on and off the track. Amazes us every day. Keep doing what you're doing, and there's no limit to what you'll accomplish. Love you, buddy.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a rough one. 877-794-1973. We're free flowing today. It's a Friday edition, going into a holiday. This is the day when if you didn't take off, well,
yeah. Listen, this is Drew. You
getaway day.
You gave me the great tagline of this is a fire your agent day.
Oh yeah.
This one might not be as much. This is a fire your own booking agent day. This is where you sit back and say, "Son of a, I got to be smarter next year," and I will be. Maybe if I put it in a notes app and I remember to go check it.
Yep, fantastic. All right, we'll take a quick break. You are in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Rolling along the Friday edition of the Huddle Getaway Day. Today we mentioned, because it's going into a holiday weekend, almost everybody. If you're not in the retail sector, lots of folks off on Monday. Lots of folks taking off today to extend the weekend. Scott Dolphin being one of them. We won't see Dolph again until Wednesday.
Genius move, dude. Genius move.
Part. I'm going to have to take notes of that because
that's why he's a Hall of Famer, man.
I haven't put in for the post All-Star or the All-Star week. I haven't even looked to see when the All-Star game is.
That's a great question, Drew. That should be something maybe we should have dialed in, because I was thinking the exact same thing. July 14th All-Star game. Well, so yeah, I do 13th through the 17th might be.
I do have a gig out of town late that week, but I'm not leaving until Friday. So
okay, come on now.
Well,
out of town gig. You sound like you're the man now.
I was gonna say that was cool.
I'm gigging. Yeah, I got a gig.
Nice. It's a gig economy.
It's a gig. It is a gig economy.
As they say.
Absolutely. Speaking of gigs,
you're on. Yeah. What gig were you on?
Speaking of gigs, I did attend an event yesterday. I took one for the team, boys. I went to the Christian Yelich charity event.
Thanks for taking one.
Let's ride.
Yeah.
Did you still have? Because didn't you? You were on with Dennis, right?
I was
yesterday with Hunter.
Yeah.
So did you keep your suit on for the
event?
No,
I changed into more casual clothes. I was probably underdressed for the event.
And how was the event, Drew? With
it's
Christian
pretty
Yelich?
cool. I got to say they did a good job. It was at the Trade Hotel. Well, I went to the VIP thing. Just saying.
Now we're hit that bell. Come on now.
Chef Adam Pavlak, I hobnobbed with all the beautiful people. I saw a lot of friends, a lot of listeners milling about, and then strolled over to the new Landmark Credit Union Live, and the fire alarms weren't going off.
That's a nice start.
So I did leave, and this is a class. So it was cool. Adam Pavlak, friend of the show from Egg and Flour, and just our celebrity chef.
I was going to say Milwaukee,
or one of them, I should say, because Kyle Nall from Birch and Cassis was there, and then they had a food station in Sanford, which is the longtime go to fine dining in Milwaukee. They had a booth, and they had this little duck dish. I don't even know what it was, but it was amazing. Like a duck pate kind of thing. It was
goodness,
incredible.
Gracious.
The food stations were great.
Tuesday.
And Adam helps put all that together for the charity for Christian Yelich. And Christian got up to do the welcome at the VIP thing and thanked Chef Adam for putting the food together. But Sandy D'Amato started Sanford, and kind of he and the Bartolotta family kind of ushered in kind of what we've become as a food city in Milwaukee. And all due respect, like folks listening to us in Madison, what are you guys talking about? Well, there's great restaurants in Madison too, a ton of them. Like we have
100%.
The food scene in this state. That's why we look the way we do.
It's really improved from just the supper. Not that we love our supper club heritage, but it's really risen to the occasion. Right?
So
I'd say.
Yes, Sanford D'Amato and his wife, they had that restaurant for a long time. Then he moved out, and his top assistant Justin took over the business, but Sandy D'Amato was in the house last night. So it was like the Mount Rushmore of local chefs.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
He was actually there, and it was cool. And I just ran into a bunch of friends, saw a lot of people. It's funny because I'm a media guy and have been forever, but I wasn't working last night. I was having a pop.
Sure, yeah, walking around.
I walked by, and then there's the red carpet or the blue carpet, and the step and repeat, and the people taking pictures, and people getting interviewed and stuff. And I saw photographer Larry, who I see a lot at Packers and Brewers games. I saw my buddy Blake from WSN 12. Saw our pal Carly Murata, and they were all waiting to interview people. And I'm like, damn media. You vultures.
The worst. Unreal.
I'm walking past with my cocktail and my my upscale
did you give Carly a quote? Did you give anybody a quote?
Drew, you used to be on that side. Drew's on the other side now. You muckrakers.
I was, exactly.
What are you trying to do? Get out of here. We're trying to party.
Yeah, actually, I got on the elevator to go to the event, and it opened on the VIP thing was on the second floor, but there was another, like maybe there's a VIP within the VIP. But the elevator stopped at the first floor, and then I saw someone, hey, Drew, like I heard someone say my name out in the crowd, but then Christian Yelich and a security guy stepped on and went up to the second floor to do his media obligations and stuff. So he was moving around the building. So right away, the first person I see is like Christian Yelich.
The right person to see at the event. The
first person I actually saw was our friend Andy in West Bend, longtime friend and listener. His son was volunteering. His son's a college student pursuing media, and he was volunteering. So I saw him outside the door. They had the team Yelly kind of interns or volunteers running around all over the place. It's a well-organized event. They do a pretty good job running it, even though it's kind of run Christian and his family, and there's out-of-state interests.
I was going to say there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, not to
a lot
steal
but it's a big event, and the venue I'd never been to, so being at Landmark Credit Union was kind of cool. If you've been to the Sylvia in Madison, it's similar. I think it's a little bigger, and it's and as we speak, there you go. There's a film of Christian from last night. Now, last year we broadcast from the event and the run up, and Christian dropped by, and that was cool. But I got to see my friends Katie and Lindsay Leinenkugel, and their dad Dick was there, so I got to talk to him. Spent time talking to David Gruber. I was rubbing elbows, man.
I was talking about
Omar
VIPs.
from Carnivore,
Let's go.
VIPs everywhere. It was just fun to hang out and not have to work. But it was funny because Katie Leinenkugel was like, "So you're here with no responsibilities at all?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Unchaperoned.
I have no responsibilities. I don't have to
Did
do
you
anything."
notice anybody looking at you like, "Hey, why are you not working?" Or, "Hey,
no,
I gotta be careful around there because this guy might be sleuthing around."
Well, maybe our show will be sponsored by them soon. Then we'll know Drew's always
Let's go.
working,
That's right.
You know?
Well, it's one of those, if you know, you know, because I had a couple people say, like, "Aren't you going to bed soon?" I'm like, yeah, as a matter of fact.
Very soon.
That
Yeah.
means they're listening. They're out there.
I won't be seeing the encore. I'll tell you that much
So
right now.
I didn't.
Cool,
I saw the Nicotine Dolls who played this event like 3 years in a row. I think it's something that's Friends of Christian. And then that Isaac Slade from the Fray came out with a full band.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
played some of his music. And then I had to dip because I couldn't hang around for Jake Owen because we had a show.
I was gonna say we got to work for the music fans, and you know this better. How's the sound in the new spot?
That's what I was.
It sounded pretty good.
Good?
I gotta say, yeah, the sound was pretty good. Yeah, and the balcony seats. There's not really a bad place to see the show.
I
From,
like
the
that,
way it's
yes.
designed, and the building opens up. The back of it, you're looking at Turner Hall, and you can see Fiserv, and there's like cool vistas. And I somehow managed to get into a VIP area at that venue too that I didn't belong in. But I just kind of, followed the crowd.
I was going to say you walk far enough.
I went from one VIP event to, I guess I walked in an entrance that was also VIP. So there were Brew players all over. I didn't bug anybody though. Saw Joey Ortiz, and they were having a good time. They were all supporting Kristen. The one guy, I didn't see Murph there. And it's funny because we talk about Matt LaFleur shotgunning beers and hanging out with the boys. But yeah, I didn't see Murph there. I don't know if he was, I don't think he attended last year either, come to think about it.
Or he was in that
other time with his boys, watching them play on,
I was
on a
say
rare night off.
watching the boys play, or maybe he was in that other room. Maybe he was in that even more VIP room. Who knows? Maybe Murph said, "I'm not hanging out with these unwashed players."
I saw our pal Andrew Grumman from Brewers PR.
Oh, nice.
He was hanging out. So it was just a cool event. Kudos to Christian Yelich for putting it on. Charlie Barron's emceed it.
Because Drew, you know this. A lot of people will say, "Of course you're going to do that. Of course you do." Nobody has to. Nobody has to give their time and their efforts to be able to give back. So it's cool that he does and takes so much care of it because it's a cool event that he's continuing to grow.
I know Miz was getting a lot of attention from people because he's hard to miss. He's so tall, but it did seem to me like the most popular guy in terms of people getting pictures and bugging was Sal Frelick. So for what that's
shocking.
Saw Brandon Woodruff and his wife. They were very understated. We'll talk more about it as we move forward. You are listening to the Friday pre-holiday edition of The Huddle on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. An old adage in baseball is that you never want to cool off a winning streak. The Brewers hope that yesterday's off day won't do that because after their sweep of the Cubs at Wrigley, baseball's evil empire, the Dodgers, come to town for 3 starting tonight. But the Brewers, having won 16 of their last 21, are playing as well as anyone in the game.
I'm happy for the guys. I've said it all year. I trust these guys. They have high expectations of themselves, and we have high standards. So hopefully a weekend like this gives them some confidence.
Brewers manager Pat Murphy coming up tonight. Logan Henderson pitches against Justin Robleski. Game time is set for 6:40. NBA playoffs last night. The Knicks clobbered the Cavaliers 109-93 to take a 2-0 series lead. Game 3 between the Thunder and the Spurs is tonight. And from the ice, the Canadians hammer the Hurricanes in Game 1 of their series 6-2. Hour 2 of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake up!
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Bill for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we go more down to. Let's go out and kick some tape. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Sit our guys after and make the play. Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Friday edition of the Huddle coming at you from headquarters. Drew, Billy, and Armen. It is, as we mentioned, the ultimate getaway day leading into holiday weekend. We won't be here on Monday. A lot of people are off on Monday.
I was going to say a lot of people
uh,
having themselves a good
celebrations. Let me ask you this: Is Memorial Day weekend? Are you locked into traditions? Because I don't have anything that I do every year, but it floats. Somebody in the family has some kind of cookout. My nephew stepped up and is going to have a little gathering on Monday, and I was also invited to one at a cousin's place. But there's nothing like fixed. I mean, when I used to live in Stately Olson Manor West, my local community had a giant parade every Memorial Day, and it was it was the kickoff to summer, and it became like the feel was of like a tailgate vibe.
Sure,
because my neighbors would set up their tents and their lawn chairs and stuff and start making bloodies,
like
and
a block
mimosas.
party.
It was a block party, but it was like morning, and it was like there was a lot of alcohol involved. Yep. And then the parade would go through the main street, and then a lot of people would go to the local watering hole that's right on the parade route. And
better
it
after.
Like, it was a full day of it just really got you started.
That's crazy.
On
People
Memorial
went to the bar at Memorial Day weekend. I didn't think. Wow, that's shocking.
It's a good one to have.
Yeah,
It's
a joke, guys.
Nothing locked in, Drew.
It's kind of floats, but it's there for you. And whether you're grilling at home, it is. I mean, you don't want to be at a store today or tomorrow because like people making a run on brats and
maybe that, or maybe the worst place that you could be is in one of the spots that I got to go in the line for an oil change. Because I can imagine the crews getting in and out of town coming up this weekend. There's bad weekend to be a campsite. Yeah, because there'll be a lot of bonfires and a lot of folks hitting the freeway quickly today. But it is Monday's my anniversary.
Yeah, that was Billy's tradition that he came up with.
Yeah, so getting married on Memorial Day weekend a couple of years ago, that was also the built-in. I know I shouldn't be able to forget it, right? Like I should be pretty locked in on knowing when it is.
Yeah.
So whether it's on Saturday, whether it's on Sunday, whether it's on Monday like it is this year, I got a good barometer and a good heads up of, hey, watch out, stupid, it's coming.
Well, I loved it because I was kind of hoping when Billy had his wedding that was going to become a tradition. Not for you to get married every year. I mean, that one time, but that like
it would be a very radio guy.
It was a great. Well, no, I don't want that. Yeah, it's funny, but Billy, we were in Vegas for Billy's wedding, so I was kind of hoping that would become the tradition of Memorial Day weekend. It's like, I'll just go to Vegas every Memorial Day weekend. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked out like that, so that hasn't been the tradition.
So
that would have been nice.
I like it. You did what my sister and brother-in-law did. They have now gone to Vegas Memorial Day weekend each of the last 2 years since the wedding, and they're going again this year. So now it's their chance to go and celebrate us is going to Vegas for 3 days.
I didn't, make it a tradition, but I would have. So I'm glad they're doing it. That would have been nice. I don't have one anymore. I did have one going for a while with good group of my friends from my college days, and we were going to my friend's dad's cabin. Doing the whole thing there, the cabin thing. That was one of our best weekends, our best memories. And I looked forward to that, in my 20s and young, probably more than anything. It was such a great time. There's nothing like getting together with your closest people, your closest friends. sort of in the middle of the woods and middle of nowhere and up north and all that stuff. And it was memories for a lifetime, but sadly we don't do that one anymore. That was kind of disintegrated after the years. So I don't really have one. We're hopefully start some new ones. We're going to see some family this weekend, but if you do have that tradition, I love it because there's nothing like looking forward to something as a mainstay every year to kick the summer off. I always think that's like a great thing, great way to start it up. You know, a lot of people, it's probably the lake house or the up north cabin or something. A lot of people do that. They spend their time outdoors, and the weather's a little dicey because it's a little chilly today and tomorrow, but it should get better.
Oh, it's going to be gorgeous on Sunday, and Monday is going to be
glorious.
It's going to be phenomenal. Yep. The Brewers game is always a good one, right? Like the Brewers game, if on a Monday at home, folks will make that a locked in tradition that we're definitely going. But one of my favorite traditions of Memorial Day weekend, Drew, is right around 7 or 8 in the morning, getting a text from either my dad, or back when I was younger, it would be like my dad getting a call from one of my uncles saying like, "Hey, so who's having people over today?" Right? Like somebody's doing something, right?
Yeah,
like,
who's hosting?
We're all not just going to sit at home. We're going to wait and make sure that it's going to be nice. I remember a couple of times cousin George stepped up quickly, and he would be throwing a good banger right out of the gates. You knew that he was having a good party. And he got over there and he said, "Yeah, he's riding the motorcycle around." And I was like, I better have people over here today. I better have people over. There's going to be a good community moment where somebody just says, I need to be around friends. I need to be around family. More importantly, I need to grab a Leinenkugels from the cooler and crack that son of a gun open. I need to get a Drift Seltzer and start this summer off right. I need to go in here and, I don't know, maybe shotgun a Miller High Life.
There we go.
There's a lot of good ways that you can kick off the summer, but a phenomenal Memorial Day weekend is by far the best one. There's not going to be a better one, right? Like that toast 3 days and it get hot. That's a winner, especially into Freedom 250 year. This is a special year to celebrate America in our 250th birthday. So let's start out that celebration of the summer.
That, Billy.
Very, very right coming up this weekend.
Let's make it right. This is a big anniversary, so I like it.
All right, 877-794-1973. Get you in. Brewers, Dodgers kicking off a weekend series this evening at American Family Field. Boy band night.
I had somebody ask me this weekend. So the Brewers going to get the Dodgers back for last year. No one's actually thinking that can possibly happen, right?
Is there that energy like that, Billy? Are people really thinking that?
Hunter pointed out on the show yesterday that just like in the playoffs last year, the Brewers are going from the Cubs to the Dodgers.
Yeah, I love that part of it, right? Like there's some nice symbiotic relationship there, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to, even if you would walk in and 19-5 sweep the Dodgers like you just did the Cubs. I don't think anything's going to really take the sting away from Game 4 and watching Ohtani hit 3 bombs.
No.
I don't know that fully can get taken away.
Right.
But I will say it's always fun to be able to see how you play against that all-star team of the Dodgers.
It is good as a measuring stick, and it's good in general to get wins. I mean, during May, you need wins, to stack up as much as you can in the early part of the season. But I will be honest with you. If I was going to tell you, I honestly thought it meant something for 4 months from now, I'd be lying, because clearly it doesn't. I mean, the Dodgers showed us last year they could coast for 6 months, not even get a bye in the playoffs and still dominate the playoffs. Well, until the World Series, they won. They didn't dominate it. They were a hair from losing, but they were able to waltz right through. And even though the Brewers had done what many fans had wanted them to do the last couple of years before that, which was, show during the regular season, quote unquote, they could compete with those teams. And yeah, we dominated the Dodgers, but it didn't really mean much come October, unfortunately. The Dodgers had their best players ready to go in October. They had an incredible level of talent in the rotation and the plate, and that talent showed up. I mean, the Brewers did have a couple close calls in that, but that's just the way it was. I'd like to do it, though. It doesn't mean I don't want to still sit here and walk in here and win some games this weekend. I just, to sit there and think, this is going to really show us that we're good enough to beat them come October. Well, I think that's true anyway, but I don't know that it means that we're going to. Let's just put it that way.
6-game homestand, Dodgers, Cardinals. By the time we convene, the hot dog game on Memorial Day will be in the books. And the Brewers will be 4 games into the homestand. What's the Brewers record going to be in these next 6 games? 3-3 is your baseline.
So yeah, in 3-3 homestands, not exactly what you're looking for. However, coming off of the heels of a 5-1 road trip, you can stomach it a little bit more. I would go 3-3. And Drew, I don't want to be the Armenizer in here because we're going to let him step into the conversation quickly. As long as neither is 3-0, I'll be very okay.
Good point.
Even though I know the Brewers could, I would like them to be able to kick the Cardinals back down to earth. If that means that you get swept by LA in that social capital that you just won with some of the casuals rolling into the summer of fun and entertainment. We are going to have a good summer of fun and entertainment. Let's remember that now. This is going to be a good summer of fun and entertainment, but it starts with at least getting one against the Dodgers and somebody being able to watch Ohtani look at least hopefully a little bit mortal in the box.
Yeah, I'm with you. We went 4-2. I'd be ecstatic with it. And it's like you can't really expect to win every game, and I understand that. Even if the Brewers were 3-3, look, you should lose the Dodgers series if for all objective reasons. We'd like to come in and win up. We believe in our team. We know they can win this series, but Dodgers are probably better. You know, you don't have your best pitchers going. Miz and Harrison, all these guys already pitched. So it's pretty likely the Dodgers should win 2 out of 3, minimum. So you lose that series, you win the Cardinal series, you got to be happy with that. The reality is losses will come. These things will happen throughout the course of a season. So I'd be very happy with 4-2. And if they go 3-3, that's fine. And you move on, you move on with it. I think there's a daily intensity from Brewers fans, which is a good thing, that they want to win every game that every game is live or die, but this is a long season. The Dodgers are a good team. We're going to have not everything's always going to go our way. It has been the last couple of weeks, which is fantastic. We're back in first place. But I think 3-3 as a baseline is fair. And you go to 4-2, you're really happy with that. Especially if, let's say you lose 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers and you come back and win that Cardinals series. Because the Cardinals have played very well themselves. I think they're kind of a paper tiger. They'll fall back down to earth, but right now they haven't. So
the Cardinals remind me when the Brewers were just kind of like upstarts before they started this run of like winning the division. Back when the Pujols, Molina Cardinals, La Russa, those guys were kicking sand in the Brewers' faces for a lot. The Brewers, we'd get to like the first half and the Brewers would be right with them, neck and neck. And my buddies that cover the Cardinals closely, Rick Hummel, Joe Strauss, and Bernie Miklasz, they'd all be like, yeah, you got a nice club over there, but I don't think you got the horses to go all through September.
Yeah.
And they were generally right. The Brewers weren't ready for prime time. And that's the way I feel watching the Cardinals right now. It's like they're young and it's exciting, but they're their window is they're trying to push it open. It's like painted shut and they're trying to break it open. It's been painted shut by incompetence and just bad.
Which is wild for that country or for that organization.
Doubt.
But yeah,
seeing empty seats
right.
the way you did in recent years at Busch Stadium is like seeing empty seats at Lambeau. It's shocking.
It's like they're the plucky rebuilder now trying to.
Well, that's just it.
Yeah.
But what those guys told me about the Brewers back then, and they ended up being right, is like big picture. Like it's a nice story now, but ask me in late August. And they were generally right about that, and that's the way I feel about the Cardinals because the Pirates and Reds have kind of already starting to settle back to their level.
Yeah, that's slowly water's starting to find its level. And I think St. Louis made some shrewd moves in the offseason, made a couple of nice ones.
They did.
And maybe, keeping the manager might have been one of the best ones. You get a little bit of continuity with it. But yeah, Drew, that's a good point. There were a lot of 06, 07 years where the Brewers had the best start in franchise history, right?
Yeah.
There were a lot of those best start in franchise history years where then after 2 months, you start realizing why the 162 is what it is. And I think St. Louis is in that realm, but you get these wins now and you get your horses against guys in teams in your division. Would I like to see Mizorowski and Harrison pitching against the Dodgers? I mean, maybe. But if it at the cost of them not pitching against the Cubs, I would not have taken that bet.
Yeah, me either.
Those are both of them much more
line
important
them
ones
up
to be
and play them
for.
as they come. That's the only way to do it. Now, speaking of your Milwaukee Brewers, again, I was at the Christian Yelich thing, saw almost the whole team there last night. Didn't see Murph, but I saw a lot of other dudes.
He was
like having a good time. They're feeling good about themselves. Yeah, probably making pancakes. But there was a X. The news, the little rail down the side, 2 items, variations on the same theme from last evening. Brewers fans weigh trading top prospect for guaranteed title. And then the other headline, Brewers fans debate trading top prospect Jesus Mate for guaranteed World Series.
Oh, Jesus.
Someone put it into the ether a question, would you trade Jesus Mate if the return resulted in a Brewers World Series crown in 2026? Now, my least favorite X response, because we've been putting up polls and doing stuff for years.
It's trying to get engagement.
How is this even a question?
Right.
Well, it is a question.
Yeah, I get asked.
But this is a particularly dumb question.
Yes.
It's okay to talk about things
Because
like this, but it's not.
What
really.
are you even talking about? Like, would you trade? So we're going to trade Jesus Mata, and then apparently whatever you get back leads to a championship. You've won the trade. That's the object.
Sounds
That's it.
good.
So
Sweet.
sign us up. Like, and nobody here is bonded with Jesus Mata yet. So he's an idea. He's like a figment of your imagination right now. And not for nothing, the Brewers signed another young middle infielder to a long-term deal that they obviously have their eyes on as well. Now, I think Jesus Mata is in the plans because I think eventually the Brewers won't be able to afford Bryce Durang. They might trade Bryce Durang, get a bunch of stuff back. And would you trade Bryce Durang if it meant bringing in the title? Yes.
Yes.
Would I trade Jackson Churio if it meant bringing anybody? Wouldn't
I
you?
trade my left one for a title? I'd think about it. Like, I like it as a guaranteed title, which makes it the part of the dumbest part of the question. Yes, I think a lot of people would.
For a guaranteed title, you would trade Jesus Mata and then hope he goes and makes the Hall of Fame and gets 4,500 hits and is the best player of all time. But that's okay. We won a title.
I agree.
Would make that trade.
I agree. Although there would still be some fans bitching about the next
There are
year.
fans bitching about it on the
next year. If you didn't
replying
win it,
to
like,
this.
yeah, look, you just sold your thing, and now what are we gonna do? We just gave it all for 1
And
year, but now
someone
we can't
said,
build a dynasty.
Yeah, are you kidding? Give me a World Series and we can be the Marlins for the next 20 years.
Yeah, I see. That's the question. Is like, how much futility would you be going through? Because that energy, I think, is a little bit disingenuous from fans. We saw it with the Bucks, and they finally won, and they're back to complaining the next couple of years when we lost in the first round.
There's no doubt.
Because the Bucks clearly, if you want to do one of these hypotheticals, that's what happened to the Bucks. We got our magical run. We won the title, but then nothing went well for us the next 4 or 5 years. And have we been happy about it? Clearly not. So would we be able to sit back and say everything is fine? We won one, so nothing's going to bother me. They were back to complaining in 2 weeks about the PJ Tucker deal. So I'll at least say that. All right. I'll at least say that is there's a little bit of, people lying to themselves a bit. I totally agree. I would trade Mate for a title because that's the whole point of what you're trying to do here is win World Series.
Brewers have only been to one World Series in franchise history.
Yeah,
you would even take, if you could even make it to the World Series and take your chances. But this was a guaranteed win. Would you trade Jesus Mata if it guaranteed a title? Who wouldn't make that?
Thank you very much. I'll figure out what on earth I have to do in the middle infield going forward. The other part that's one of my favorites in this is we do want to find a guarantee. We want to try to find a cheat code to the game because
true.
A lot of us grew up with the book that had the cheat codes in the video game. You scroll through and you find exactly how you're going to do this thing. And the figment of the imagination, Drew, best way I've heard prospects described, because I think of it as a real commodity. At no point do I actually think that I have a real stake in the iHeartMedia company. But then when I sell that little bit off or when I buy a little bit of a share, all of a sudden you sit back and you're, oh, I'm an owner. I think you'll feel okay if you send something off that you actually never touched. Anything that you actually never held in your hand. There's no fungible token. It's an NFT. Jesus Mate at this point is a real life NFT, and I don't know what those actually were.
That's a great point.
Or if they are still around, but it's a figment of the imagination.
But I get why people do fear it because of the same reason Red Sox fans are now looking at Harrison. Like there's a reason to fear it, but you're right. We love to play these, and look, this is just a little bit of rage, not rage bait, but engagement bait, and it worked. But there is something to the fact that these are fun hypotheticals because it is. You're right, Billy. What would we do for the guarantee? There are certain things I won't do that people claim that they'll do, but they're lying.
You can say it's a fun hypothetical, but the question itself, is it a great question if it spawns other questions that are more fun to debate than the actual question?
My old friend John Audius, you guys remember him? He was trying to convince me a whole show once that would I exchange 3 consecutive Bucks titles for the Marquette basketball program ceasing to exist. I said, no, I'm not doing that. He's like, well, why not? You get 3 titles. I'm like, then what? I'm not going to watch one of my favorite teams forever. So that is what we do in this. It's a fun little exercise.
I'll give up pizza for life. But this is like the Jesus Mate thing, at the risk of sounding like every comment that I hate. How is that even a question? Of course you would. You trade this because that would mean inherently that you won the trade, right?
Yes, you win the trade if you win the title.
Yeah.
The only way I can think of it is like, was it worth having the greatness of Molitor and Yount for 15 years, 2 all-time fan favorites, Hall of Famers, and never winning a title? And if those 2 never existed, but you still broke through and won 1 title, are we more fulfilled from the 1 title than having 2 great players, stalwarts of the team, stalwarts of the history, be part of our team for 15 years? That would be the only way I could see it. Like if you thought of Made as being a future Hall of Famer that was going to be in your uniform for 20 years but never win a title, is that somehow worth it over winning the title? Most fans would say no. I will take the title too, but maybe I could finally see it in that one way. But other than that, I'm just being hype. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I appreciate you doing it.
Yeah.
I appreciate you doing it because I don't know that I would have been able to do that math, right? Like I don't know that I'd be able to go all the way around it because at the end of the conversation, there's still a commissioner's trophy where there never had been one before, right? Like there's a feeling and a status that otherwise has never been achieved, and frankly, I think there's a real grouping of the fan base. I think I found myself in there at certain defeatist times, especially sadly listening to Uke and Jeff Levering sign off after the Mets season.
Oh yeah,
after that series when Pete Alonso did that to us as we're driving back from Stevens Point. You're like, this is never going to happen. This is never going to happen. Or while I was sitting in a hotel in Illinois after the Bucks blew another 15-point lead against the Toronto Raptors in that series, and you're just sitting there back like, it's never going to happen.
Never going to happen.
Why are we worried about this? Why do we waste our time with this? Why? I need to hold myself accountable and start taking.
There you go.
You start doing some better stuff with my time.
Accountability.
And instead, 2 years later, it happens. So I definitely would trade him. I would also never potentially. You said I hope he makes hits have 4,000 hits. I do think I might actually still end up with like an Armen Sarian at that point. Would you want him to flame out and be Keston Hira?
Yeah, I mean, Yoferi Rodriguez, I did famously say I'm
got 11 bombs right now. Yoferi Rodriguez having himself a season.
Well, and it made a lot of people mad when I said I'm cheering against him after we traded
because I
want our trade to work out, and then I got some people real mad, and I had to think about that. But I think the theory was you want the best outcome of the trade for your situation. So, like, yeah, Lewis Brinson. That's what makes the Ellis trade so great, is that none of those guys were any good.
That Isan Diaz played more games, I think, in the KBO than he did in the AAA.
And I wasn't wishing like homelessness on those guys. I wanted them to like. It wasn't like I didn't want them to make a living playing baseball. That's what people like looked at my reaction as. But you don't want to give up great players if you don't have to and miss on trades. I don't know a better way to look at it than yes, they're commodities, but they're humans. So it is a difficult thing. But this is the ultimate, and I'll leave with this. This is the ultimate Doug Russell. Like he loves this because it's the old Eli Manning debate. Marino, Eli Manning, championships versus, like, would Giants fans rather have Eli Manning or Rodgers all those years? I guarantee you they 2 Super Bowls is more important to most of them, but they'd rather most Sundays say, I wish Aaron Rodgers was my quarterback.
That's true.
So it is kind of an interesting thing to talk about.
Greener.
It's a fun thought experiment for a Friday.
But it launches into more interesting questions because the Made thing is like, next.
Yeah.
For 99% of people, it's like you wouldn't even have. That's why you have prospects in farm system is to trade them to get pieces to help you win championships.
That's the reason. So that's an easy. I agree. It's
as I've said for years. Prospect comes from the Latin, which means hasn't done bleep yet in the major leagues.
Never truer words been said.
It's absolutely true.
And how many times did we hold?
It actually comes from the word prospectus, which means to view or look out or sight.
Ooh, okay.
Well done.
Pro is meaning the prefix means forward or future. And
well, I don't got 20/20
look
vision,
at,
so I'm
to
not going to be able to
see the
very
future. So prospect anyway. All right, we're getting bogged down. We've reached halftime of the final show of the week. Scott Dolphin took vacation like a smart human being.
Genius.
But we're going to power through halftime next. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Armen, sorry, and loving the excuse to play boy band music. Boy band night coming up at the ballpark. Brewers.
How salty are you? You're not
Dodgers. 6:40 first pitch at American Family Field.
It would be cool. I think if it was a more catch-all 90s night, I'd be more salty, Billy. But
that's fair. If you knew it was going to be a lot of new kids on the block.
We went to Vanilla Ice night a couple of years ago. That was a lot of fun. We're going to be going Tuesday. I mean,
Doctor
it's okay.
No Ja Rule night.
It's okay. I'm not missing that. You know what I mean? If they ever have one again.
I think
Sanchez, you ready?
Sanchez. 877-794-1973 gets you the NicoletLaw.com talk text line. This is usually the time when we talk to Scott Dolphin. He's not with us. You know who else isn't with us today? Hunter Baumgart. There's nothing to recap. So Hunter did not provide us a preview, but Hunter's his input on the show brought to us by Import Minded, your auto experts on South 27th Street, just north of 894. So Dolph is not here. Usually we'd be making our adjustments, eating an Uncrustable and an orange slice and, chopping it up with Dolph. But so without him, you can feel free, share us your thoughts or give us your takes or any questions you may have.
And the talking text line is doing that right now at 877-794-1973, NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. 608 said, appreciate you guys being on the radio today. We appreciate you waking up with us and appreciate you being with us as well. Our friend Kavika in Maui hit up the talking text line and said,
Kavika?
Fellas, Jackson Churio needs to start hitting.
All right. First, let's congratulate Kavika and Maui for not having a Jordan Love's got to prove a tweet. Let's text. Let's hear it for Kavika because 98% of his texts are usually Jordan Love's got to prove it to me more. So I appreciate him. Now he's just ripping on another one of
I say, well, now Jackson Churio needs to prove it to him a little bit.
What do you guys think? The power, the home runs haven't been there, but his numbers have been okay, I think. Now, it wasn't the greatest necessarily series for him. I'm going to look the numbers up now.
Well, Drew, I don't know. I mean, if Jackson Churio was hitting, they might be in a better position.
They might be in first place.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
He does also in his last 5 games have a pair of multi-hit games.
Yeah.
He had going into Wednesday's 0 for 4 with a walk and a strikeout, been riding a 5-game hitting streak. And right now is hitting 286 in 63 at bats. I think he's figuring it out. I think he's doing all right. But Armen, the power is one thing, right? Like I think we'll see the power come from Jackson as the weather warms up as well. But when he's slicing the baseball over to right center, very similar to how when Yelich is spraying the ball over to left center.
Yeah.
That's when you know they're really starting to go right. And it feels like Jackson squared a couple of those up in the Cubs series.
Yeah, he's hitting well. This is the highest average so far. Now it's early, 286. You mentioned it. 741 OPS, which is good, not spectacular. He's usually up around 780, 800. It is the slugging that's down a bit so far. I mean, he had 21 homers the last 2 years. So you're kind of in your back of your mind, it doesn't work this way this easily, but this is what we do as fans. You think, all right, that's the floor. Like Jackson's good for 20 home runs right away, boom. And on a team that doesn't hit a lot of home runs, if you aren't hitting a lot and people want you to, I get why that's magnified. That's probably the one thing you can say is not hitting home runs. That being said, I don't know about you guys. It felt like he's hit 10 walls this year. I mean, I felt like Jackson has hit the wall like so many times and been close. So I agree. I think he's okay. I think it's the power is coming. He's taken more walks than he has in the past. I mean, he usually, that was his issue the last few years, and his walk rate is a little bit better. So, I mean, that's a good sign as well. I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, quibbling with the Brewers at the quarter pole and they're in first place. Like, okay.
Yeah. But the other part is like how different the lineup has been ever since the infusion of Yelich and Churio and Vaughn back. I mean, I don't think it should be too surprising when Statman Steve breaks down the Mays for us. Last year in May, the Brewers were 15-13. This year, they're 13-4. That's a little bit, a little bit different. And right, first weekend in May or second series of May is when those guys first started to come back, and Yelich just off of the IL or off the IL and then off of the bench for a week, providing some more of it. The Churio one is interesting when Dobler asks us something. Now, this comes from a state of asking about Garrett Mitchell. But he said, does Garrett Mitchell open up the door, or should it open up a door for a Bowers in left field, Churio in center, Frelick in right, with Andrew Vaughn over at first base for this Dodger series to get as much offense on the field as possible, Drew Olson?
That's good.
You can't really sit Bowers right now, right?
Yeah.
It's Bowers. Yeah.
Bowers has to play, but is part of the reason that he's being so productive and stuff that they're playing. That's the question.
That's a good balancing act to find.
That is. It's like hey, they need to play this guy every day, and then you play him every day, and you forget what made him good and why he was hot in the first place. Like,
it's the discipline to say, hey man, this guy crushes right-handed pitching. Let's have him face a lot of right-handed pitching. And then when they start crushing right-handed pitching, to not go and throw him in for 3 days against a lefty. Yeah, that's what makes managers a lot better than me, because I look at it and being a cooler. Instead, maybe you're keeping him on the warming plate and allowing him to continue to sizzle a little bit.
They have that discipline, and the other thing is they ride out with like, how can you keep running Joey Ortiz out there? And then suddenly he starts to hit, and you go, oh, okay, that's why he's playing. Plus, he saves you runs every day on the other side.
The glove.
So yeah, it's that, but that's the push and pull of it, and that's where again, you're right. They get paid to make those decisions, and they have the bigger picture, and it's like, this guy's raking. Well, the reason he's raking is because we're finding him good spots and good matchups, right? And he's playing against that platoon thing. The platoon, people hate it. Platoon advantage is real.
Mm-hmm.
The stats, like, they don't do anything just willy nilly. The stats are now there are some. It used to be that the lefty's coming up for the Reds, and we're going to counter and bring in our lefty out of the pen. But then someone said, well, look at this number. This lefty, he does better against righties than he does against lefties.
100%.
He's got the reverse split. So it's like that they've gotten rid of that reflexive action, but there is something to part of the reason the guy's so good is because they're protecting him and because he's not playing every day.
Yeah.
And people can't wrap their brain around that.
It's hard to. It's really hard to, because all I'm seeing is this guy ripping a 11-game hitting streak and 19 games on base. Murph mentioned it to some of the dudes on MLB Network. Again, I can't remember if it was the afternoon show or night show. Good show either way. And he had made a joke about Lauren Shahadi doesn't wear the Brewers jersey, which I appreciated Murph shouting out.
Yeah, because we want to see that.
Said, sorry, Lauren wears every other team's jersey except ours.
Yeah, come on, Lauren. Let's
go, Murph.
At least for Dave. Like,
thank you. At least for Dave Gasper to give him that moment.
He needs that.
But said Drew's like, I don't always believe in the platoon thing. Although if you watch us, we probably do it a little bit more than other teams, because he said that you have to balance in who the guy is and how they're rolling. But also, there's a reason why the numbers can be the numbers. Shota Imanaga was the best example of it. I mean, right-handers were having a lot tougher time against them than anybody else. And tonight, Robleski for the Dodgers, who is their first of the guys, and you're like, wait a second, what is this 25-year-old Robleski guy wearing a 70 jersey? Well, he's shoving a top 15 ERA in baseball. He's 6-1. He's got like a 1 whip, so he's pretty good, and he's not very forgiving against left-handers, albeit though the lefties are hitting marginally better than right-handers are, and the OPS is far higher. So maybe you do still see Bowers in there and Yelich and maybe another off day for Vaughn, because I would have thought both of them would find their way into the lineup for offensive purposes. Whether it's Bowers in left field or Yelich in left field, I don't really necessarily care. I would wonder though if we're going to see Yelich in the outfield, because with the back already tightening up and already one IL stint on the docket, I think you might be seeing him for 4 at-bats, and that's going to be about it, and they'll really be cautious with him playing defense.
I'm kind of with you. Why chance it? Now, the fact is, it does seem like there's a little bit of, overcrowding at some of these positions, and if you have more good options, that's a good problem to have, but it does seem like that sometimes. Like, all right, we got to find room for everybody, because it seemed, hey, everyone's doing well. It's just hard to sit Bowers right now. I mean, the way he's hitting, he's kind of been a revelation. So I'm all about playing the numbers and I believe in the platoon, but there are times when it's like, I think this guy's hot enough. You got to make sure he gets at bats.
So Armen wants to double down.
I feel certain guys that way. It's like Bowers has been pretty incredible. So it's tough though, because you have to find room for everybody. And obviously Sal's there, and we talk about Yelich, and now it's, Garrett. All these things are working together. So you want to find room for everybody. You want to find at-bats for everybody, but you want to put your best lineup on the field.
That's something Ned Yost taught me that one. He was like, when the fans start to clamor for a guy to be benched and the guy's awful and the guy has a bad week and then another week, and then just when you get to the point where you're thinking about making a change, give him another 10 games. and then that's just the game of streaks.
If you can't rebound there, then you deserve it.
It's like, just when you can't stand it anymore, you've been blocking out the fan noise and stuff, but when you can't stand it anymore, give him another 7 to 10 games. and then see if you have to make it. Because usually, now the guy's starting to hit.
Right, starts waking up a little bit.
The regression to the mean is also real.
So there's a lot more. There's a lot more Jake Bauers or former Jake Bauers guys out there than I thought that just save their bacon right before they're about to get DFA'd.
Exactly. All right, keep them coming. We made it through halftime without Dolph. We'll have to do that again on Tuesday because he's a savvy veteran and took the proper days off. But we're going to power ahead. When we come back, we will have our Who's Hot, Who's Not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling. And then before you know it, at 7 o'clock, we may or may not talk to Paul Wagner today. I'm betting the under.
Yeah, he texted me that they were getting in just after 4:30 into the beautiful KC metropolitan area. But said, give me a shout. If I don't wake up, say hi.
He's probably, if I don't wake up, say hi.
Might be a 7.
Yeah, I think he'll be up for breakfast with the boys. I think he will be.
Yep. With or without Wags, we will plow through and finish strong until 8 o'clock. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen huddled up on a Friday in the good land. 877-794-1973. Your ticket to the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. You can also comment on the YouTube page, streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, X, as well as over the air for those in your cars already. 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison. A lot of topics last night. Chris and Yost thing, obviously people were talking about the Brewers, but there was some Bucks conversation as well.
Ooh,
because we were over by in the Bucks neighborhood, in the Deer District, for the trade hotel was the VIP launching thing, and then the Landmark Credit Union Live in the shadow, like that's where Armen proposed at the former site of the Bradley Center, right?
I
Armen?
did, yeah, but now it's no longer.
Yep.
Well, the spot is there.
The spot is there, but
go there.
It's built. So I found that sweet spot when the building got torn down. The next one wasn't up yet, and I said, "Empty lot." That's romance.
That's romance.
That's romance. So. But the Bucks conversation was interesting, and obviously, like, what's going to happen with Giannis? How would things have changed if the Bucks had gotten like the number 2 pick? Would they be more likely to trade Giannis? We were diving into that. Like, then what would have happened? Then would they have been more likely, less likely? Are they playing a game of chicken? Will they enter the season with Giannis? He's under contract, and we'll trade him at the deadline if we can, or do they play that game, make him walk away from the money? We brought up the Myles Garrett thing because it's applicable because Jimmy Haslam.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
There was a whole churn of Myles Garrett wants out. He's not going to play. He's absolutely not going to play. He's done in Cleveland. And he's back with Cleveland.
And then he's back with Cleveland.
Because of the money.
Sorry.
So how does that lay out? And then it spun into, like, we talk about, would you trade Jesus Made for a title? Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have to trade Miles Turner after what he said about whether Giannis comes back or not? Did Miles Turner is getting ripped from every corner of the NBA for breaking the code and talking about the guys being late to meetings and Giannis being late. Maybe he wanted to make Doc look bad because he was getting benched in the fourth quarter and Jericho Sims was getting his minutes. Maybe he just didn't like he didn't vibe with the coach. But if he thought he made Doc look bad, he also made Giannis look bad and himself look bad.
And himself look bad and potentially himself look worse. And Drew, that's where I'm almost more hesitant to trade Turner because you're trading him at like the all list of all time lows.
So true.
Where he just broke guy code around the league. So that's going to sit weird. He played objectively his worst year of his career, which is going to be another spot. And that contract looks worse by the moment. So, like, I almost would think that they try to double it down. But what definitely went out the window is me thinking that was a little package deal. You were sweetening things up to try to get even more back, or a Bobby Portis and Miles Turner all gone if it's a complete rebuild. The second pick being more likely to trade him, I think they're trading him regardless. So I think it would be disingenuous for me to say yes. I would push it more to if certain teams would have gotten the second or third pick, the Bucks were definitely moving them. Right? Like if the Heat would have gotten the second pick, wow, does their offer look a lot more attractive?
I'm with you.
The Warriors get the second pick. You're definitely then allowing their package to be a lot more appealing than it is right now.
The thing is, and it's bad timing. It's similar. Here's a Armen-like analogy. When the Brewers had County Stadium, when they had that old black and white TV scoreboard.
Mm-hmm.
Orange and
they put that up, and it was from like whatever Switzerland or whatever. And hey, look at this! Like they had actual replays, even though it looked like World War II movies.
But they got video out of it.
And then like a year later, came the jumbotrons, and the Brewers were locked in. They were already it was already outdated.
They're pot committed.
Bradley Center opens, and it was nice, and then they opened up new places with better amenities shortly thereafter, and that was timing in life is everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bucks are now venturing into the trade your superstar waters in an era when no one wants to give up, like the Bridges trade with 5 first-rounders for a dude who's not even as good as Giannis. Like you can't get value. You can't get his value back because teams can't give it to you for a number of reasons, but mostly they just don't want to get rid of young players in draft capital as they're not as quick to do that as they were even 2 or 3 years ago.
So true. You missed on the market
so
in that sense.
They missed time. The market has changed. Like those deals, again, I go back to one of the best trades in Brewers history, and I argued with my buddy Dan Needles about this because he thought it sucked. But trading Richie Sexton and getting back a whole raft of guys, Chris Capuano, Junior Spivey, like didn't they get Craig Counsell in that?
Yeah, Counts in that
De
one
La
too.
Rosa,
De La Rosa, Lyle Overbay, Chad Moeller. They got like 5 or 6. They got guys that were instantly starters and upgraded their team.
The whole team,
For Richie Sexton, who went to Arizona, played 1 year, didn't do much, and then bolted as a free agent to Seattle And the Brewers won that trade 1,000,000 times over. And that was one of the last times that GMs unloaded the clip to get one superstar guy. Like they just didn't want to give up
100%.
like the multiple. And these weren't prospects. These were like major league players who had big time service time. And that was a lopsided trade. That was kind of the end of that era. And the Bridges thing might have been like that. The 5 first-rounders for me.
Bridges for 5 first-rounders. Desmond Bain for 4 of them this year as well. Gobert, 5 first-rounders and
like,
players.
I don't think those are going to happen anymore.
No. Which is a shame because
now it's the Oklahoma City model where you
Mm-hmm.
hoard draft picks. And it's like the landscape has changed. So it's a bad time to be getting out of because for what Giannis means to the city, the franchise, like there is no player that you can get for like Wemby. Like who else can you get? Like you can't get value for him. So that has to factor in. But at this point, if they have to cut and run, and if it's best for the franchise, and in hindsight, it would have been best for the franchise to do it a year or two ago instead of making the Dame trade.
Somehow, Drew, it has turned itself into a Bucks version of the Aaron Rodgers situation, where in the moment, I still would not have traded Rodgers after the 21 season. Objectively looking at it, with the Seattle Seahawks making what you think was basically the exact trade you were going to get from Denver and winning the title 3 years later, it was the right move to make, but it's a hard one to go back and change the course of history with.
That's the best way to say it. I mean, people don't like to say this, but you just become unlucky when the market doesn't time right. And you could have done it.
And also, once again, thanks a lot, Nico Harrison.
Exactly.
Thanks a lot for screwing this up for everyone else.
Thank you. He screwed it up for everybody. Oh, well, it just stinks. That's what makes it an uncomfortable experience besides just trading Giannis. It's that you're not going to get that value that you should, and it sucks.
That sucks. Yeah. All right. Again, no one knows what's happening. Everybody's throwing darts at a board, and it's 50-50 whether he's back or not, in my humble estimation. Yeah, it's only 2 things. Either he'll be back or he's not. Only 2 choices. 50,
it's like
50.
gambling. You're either going to win or you're going to lose.
Right. Let's hit it. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. The first place Brewers are back at it tonight after taking last night off. It's a replay of last fall's postseason. First it's the Cubs, and now the Dodgers. Well, they beat Chicago in 3 straight.
I think it gives us a little confidence. We have a very young club, as you know, guys that are in their second, maybe their third year. We don't have too many others than that. But, yeah, I think it gives you a little confidence. Friday will be here soon enough, and we have the Dodgers in town.
So L.A. is in first place, too. Manager Pat Murphy, also by a game and a half, also right ahead of their neighbor to the immediate south, the Padres. Logan Henderson pitches tonight against Justin Robleski. Game time is set for 6:40. NBA playoffs last night, a dominating performance by the Knicks. Josh Hart with 26 points to lead New York past Cleveland 109-93. The Knicks up 2-0 in the series. Coming up tonight, Game 3 between the Thunder and the Spurs. The final hour of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, Bill for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 hit. You got to cut and crack. Now it's cut and crack. Red, right, 18 Bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we got to do. Let's go out and kick some tail. All right? Hey, 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after you and make the play. Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmidt,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Oh, baby, the opening minutes of our final hour of the week heading into Memorial Day weekend, the Friday edition of the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. And this is a day you got to help us power through. A little audience participation would be nice. 877-794-1973. Candidates for who's hot and who's not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen. We'll get to them momentarily. If you want some suggestions, feel free. You can nominate your current electric superhero of the day if you'd love as well. And then before you know it, we'll be sliding down the back of the dinosaur. But first things first, we were just talking about the Bucks and that was the discussion last night, even at the Brewers event, like the Bucks off season. The draft is approaching, and Jimmy Haslam said we'll know by the draft what Giannis' future is, whether he's going to
1
be
month
with
from
the team
tomorrow.
or not.
The draft will be.
Taylor Jenkins, I've been asked by a lot of people, do you think that's a good hire? I'm like, it seems like it. He's the top of the market guy. Last time they got the top of the market guy, it was Mike Budenholzer. That worked out okay. Taylor Jenkins is that guy. Good coach. He had Memphis playing hard. Interesting dynamic with coaches that when you go from a guy who's apparently loose, like Doc, what we're hearing, you go the other way and get it, whether it's conscious or not, conscious or not, you get a guy who's the opposite. If you have a disciplinarian, then you get a relaxed guy like Armen, going back in the time machine, the Brewers, when they got, rid of Renee Latchman, right?
Yeah, Renee Latchman was one of them, and it's like you go from Renicky to maybe, I don't know, what's Maka fiery? I don't know if you'd call him fiery, but really, it does seem like it swings back and forth, right?
Yeah, wasn't it from Maka to Renicky?
Maybe that was
kind of it.
Yeah,
but yeah, you tend to go the opposite way, right? It's like, well, Harvey Keene comes in, and it's like, okay,
chill,
relax.
Yeah.
It's like, so the opposite.
Get the complete opposite in here.
It's been a while since Jason Kidd was in these parts, but we did take note when he was fired by the Mavs recently. And Armen, I know you said it. And someone posted this into the ether the other day, and it was reposted by Michael Carter Williams. Remember him?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Rookie of the year.
And
that was about it.
The original post is, years ago, a Nike executive told me that Jay Kidd is going to get fired from every coaching job he gets because for as good as he is at X's and O's and player development, over time he becomes insufferable and his personality starts to weigh on people. Michael Carter Williams said, I've been trying to tell people this for 10 years now. Truth always prevails. Now, even when I said Michael Carter, who?
Yeah.
But because, J Kidd's a Hall of Famer already. And his coaching resume he's a Hall of Fame player. And his coaching resume was just extra. But the perceptions, like the Doc era is going to go down with the Bucks as like a debacle.
For sure. Yes.
And just a mistake. And you can say what you want about Adrian Griffin and whether keeping him would have been the right move, but bringing in Doc was clearly not the right move. And I say that as a guy with a lot of affection for Doc Rivers.
Yeah. And still
it wasn't a fit. It wasn't good.
No. And it was clearly not a time when, after coming off of the broadcast table, when he said, I don't know why they called me. I still don't really know why they're doing this. In all reality, why they're doing it right now, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I wouldn't wish this on my worst
I wouldn't
enemy.
wish this upon anybody, but they called me, so I took it. $40 million. You're going to take that. And lo and behold, he cashed a $40 million check. And it also happened to come with two of the more untimely injuries that you possibly could have, of Dame popping the Achilles right before the playoffs and Giannis almost popping his Achilles right before the playoffs the year prior to be unable to see them healthy. But it was an abject failure. The Jason Kidd one with Michael Carter Williams, I mean, I struggle to see Michael Carter Williams rest of his NBA career and say that he knows a whole lot more about what it takes to win at the NBA level than Jason Kidd, but that's neither here nor there. He had a nice year when he was the Rookie of the Year, and then everything else was kind of gravy after that for him. Kidd in the development, it's not always the easiest thing for great players to become great coaches, because the stuff that came so easy to you doesn't come easy to everybody else. What maybe was your superpower might not translate to that spot. But I'm not in the same camp as Armen of like it hinders players' careers. I think he helped Giannis's career a hell of a lot more than he ever hindered his development or hurt it. But there's generally a 5 to 7 year gap in the NBA that a coach is going to be with the same team. I think it maybe even a little bit longer in the NFL. But even some of the best coaches say after about 10 years, your message is going to change and it's going to become stale with whoever and however your group continues to develop.
Certain guys don't believe in coaching a long time. And whatever you think about Kidd's coaching ability, I have my opinion, but some people have other ones. I do think it's pretty clear that a lot of people have said, a lot of players have said that his style will grind on them eventually. That doesn't mean he's bad. It just means it'll eventually grind on them. And it's interesting to me that for so long, Michael Carter Williams carried this torch, clearly. Like he kept that energy for like 10 years on it. He said one day the truth was, so he was clearly very emotional about it, that he didn't like the guy. Now that's different than can a guy be a good coach, of course. And, take what you will. No one's going to sit there and look at Michael Carter Williams and say, wow, this guy should be the bastion of what we think in the NBA, because his career wasn't amazing. He did have the great rookie year, but that was about it. But I thought the vehemence with the vitriol with what he had was clearly emotional, which was sort of interesting there. Yeah.
So folks are talking about the Miles Turner comments. It cemented for people like, oh, okay, well, we knew that just watching on the court, you knew that this was a dysfunctional outfit. And then Miles Turner talks about them, not finding anybody, guys being late, guys blowing stuff off, guys late for the plane, throwing Giannis under the bus like he did. Can Miles Turner continue to function as a Buck? If Giannis is on the team, do you have to get rid of him?
Oh, if Giannis is on the team, he's definitely not here.
So
right, like if you're not trading 34, you're definitely trading 3.
But then Bobby Portis is like, I thought this was AI. This didn't happen. There's denial. And then Armen has a clip from Patrick Beverly weighing in on the podosphere.
He was on, I believe, or Sirius XM radio. I think NBA.
Sirius XM NBA radio. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is what he said about it.
Can I be frank or no?
Yeah, absolutely. We want you to be frank.
Okay, stop. What if they said no? Don't be frank.
No, give us the sanitized version.
Yeah.
A damn snitch. What? I played on the Bucks. I've never seen Giannis late one time. I played for the Clippers with Doc Rivers. I played for the Bucks with Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers was a player in the past. He's very lenient, right? He's very lenient when it comes to practicing. I don't hear people complaining then when they got days off, right? So to get on a platform and you discuss your head coach and you discuss your main player, and mind you, you're coming from a team where people people really expected a lot more from Miles Turner. If I'm being honest, people expected a lot more from what he provided with the Bucks. So for him to go on a platform and kind of discuss personal things with a team and kind of not really look at self. What could I have done to be better? How many more shots I could have blocked? What was my 3-point percentages? How did I go from it being in the Eastern Conference to beating this team to playing with Giannis and we're not even making the playoffs? Right? I think it's an issue there.
Patrick Beverley.
A damn snitch.
A damn snitch.
A damn snitch. Well, and the family business is the one that I think rubs even more in the NBA sphere the wrong way. Like, one, that is always going to get protected by Pat Bev, right? Like they got a long standing relationship. He outlined it right there. Yeah. One of the big reasons why they went back and grabbed Pat Bev, it sounded like when it initially happened, was because of his relationship with Doc Rivers. So he's going to stand on that business and help out and try to protect this guy. But there's kind of a code in all of sports, Drew, especially in the NBA of, hey man, there's some things that get kept in-house. There's some things that never need to be said outside these walls. And that was the one part of it with Miles Turner that was clear. The production is another one, and I'm glad that somebody else saw it and said it outside of folks that just watched and had to watch every single game that Miles played, because it was clearly either question about how his role was defined or not defined, but he was a shell of the player he was in Indiana here. Yeah. And that's the one where it's going to fall on a lot of deaf ears when everyone looks at the stat line of the numbers here at 25-26 for Miles Turner and said, oh, it was because people were late to team planes as to why the 3-point percentage dip. That's why you're salty with the situation.
Yeah. That's what it was. 877-794-1973. Weigh in if you would like.
Do you think Turner can be back with the Bucks?
If Giannis is gone.
Right? Like it's got to be an either or kind of thing.
How that could, I really can't.
Because it does beg a question of how low are you going to sell it? Or at that point, do you just ride it out and see if then at the deadline you can get something better? Because unlike the Giannis deal at last year's deadline or this year's deadline, that's why I think I agree with Jimmy. I think it does have to come before the draft, because I think you also want to get some of those assets coming up in this year's draft. Since you don't have your control going forward for picks, it doesn't make sense for you to say, we'll punt to next year's draft for the first taste at the pot. Because you tanking doesn't help, right? So you do want to get some assets in this year's draft. That's why I think they said it that way, and I think why the shot clock was kind of put on there. You're going to get better offers in the offseason.
Yeah.
For Giannis. For Miles Turner, he can't play any worse, so I actually think you probably get better offers at next year's deadline than you do right now.
Well, he has to show some sort of value. That's the thing. I mean, because he kind of decimated his value this year by not playing well. Whether or not he was in the right position, whether or not it was just the culture that he wasn't in the right mindset, I don't know, but he's been a better player than what he showed last year throughout his career, but it's not going to help you get good value for him. And the last thing you want to do is totally give away that any sort of asset at its lowest point, like you said. But the tough thing about this is, if there is any thought of keeping Giannis and moving forward with trading future picks and rebuild, there's rumors that that's what he wants. It doesn't seem like a way Miles can stay on the team. It doesn't seem like there's a way that Miles and Giannis are going to coexist on this team after what happened, in my opinion. Knowing what Giannis values and the loyalty and stuff like that. And I can't imagine the culture being better, next year, if that's what the situation, even with the new coach. And it seems like Taylor Jenkins is the right guy for that. I don't know. I mean, because you want Miles Turner to play better, obviously, for your team or for a better trade value. But it sure doesn't seem like those two are going to coexist. But if you are going to trade Giannis and he does get traded, you might as well keep Miles at that point, because you're rebuilding anyway. I mean, you're going to be bad, So
that's true.
You might as well just eat it and hope he gets better. And therefore, you can spin him off to another asset at some point.
Talked about the Giannis trade throughout, and we've had this conversation before, but the offseason makes more sense because it's easier to put together a 3 or 4 team bank shot. And one of those people are talking about is the Hawks, now that they got rid of Trae Young, could use Jaylen Brown from the Celtics. So Giannis goes there. Jaylen Brown comes to Milwaukee for 30 seconds and gets shipped to Atlanta for more assets. And
Jalen Johnson, hopefully, right there.
Jalen Johnson as the star coming back, and then a bunch of picks. So,
And I think does Atlanta have control? Well, they have technically would have had the swap for this year's pick. That was my fault. They would have had the swap for this year's pick with New Orleans. So maybe the Bucs would get the 8th pick and the 10th pick and Jalen Johnson. And then again, you'd be able to bring something back immediately, because that's the other part that's difficult with the Giannis packages that you're going to see. And honestly, why the Boston one makes a lot of sense, especially if that's the way you spin it, because it only helps you so much to win 20 games next year, right? Like, especially without the first round pick, you might as well try to field some kind of competitive team. And who knows, maybe Portland Trailblazers the thing, and all of a sudden you're a little bit more competitive and plucky, and in the flattened lottery odds next year, you still have just as good of a chance. If you're sitting in, you have a fine chance if you're sitting there at the 10th seed in the East or the 11th seed in the East like you were this year.
Yeah, and that's kind of where they're at. Do you guys want to hear Bobby Portis? He kind of had some things to say.
Let's take a listen.
He was on what's the podcast with Michelle Beadle and Boogie Cousins.
He was on FanDuel TV. I think there's some kind of
out there now.
Yeah, some kind of show.
Lou Williams is also on this. There's a lot of voices here, and this is right after he basically said out loud, "Is this AI?" Like, that was the joke he made.
It's always been great for us. Obviously, if you play ball in NBA and you play ball in any professional sport, obviously, superstar players get treated differently. You feel me? I'm not saying my guy was
it's just the nature of the
two and a half hours later, whatever. It can be over exaggerated.
Bobby, I played with a gentleman named Allen Iverson. And I also played with another gentleman named Kobe Bryant and James Harden. And you would wait there for 2 hours?
Can I ask you, what's late mean?
I thought that was bogus.
No way. 2 hours?
What is late? Like,
Nah,
is late?
I know 2
hours.
hours. 15 minutes max.
15 minutes?
Ain't no way.
It wasn't 2. I've never been on a team where
somebody
was 2 hours late. Like, I think that was like over exaggerated.
Milwaukee not even that damn big.
And if it's Giannis, just get your own plane.
It's not gonna take you 2. Like, come on, man.
There ain't even that much traffic out there, bro. I can get from my crib all the way to the suburbs to the airport in 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Boom, done. 2 hours is by the way, that's wild.
Yeah, Miles is bogus.
2 hours were legal.
He
threw a little flavor on. He threw a little
So
flavor.
why would he say that?
Nobody in the world is waiting 2 hours for nobody.
Well, no, they are, because Mariah Carey and The Rock.
Unfortunately, it's teammates like that in the NBA.
But why say that?
Then I seen somebody online talking about how can I get mad about what Miles said when I come on air every week and dissect team drama. I don't dissect team drama or nothing. I just keep it real on what's going on, and you know what I'm saying? Being an analyst, I actually get paid to come on here and talk.
Tell them again, Bobby.
They doing it for views. For real, they doing it for views, bro. Like, that shit's lame to me, bro.
A lot going on there, guys.
Lot.
Obviously,
This is lame to me.
Lame to
cross
me.
talking.
Boogie said it wasn't appropriate, but it's like it seemed like he could have been late, but it was an exaggeration. And then there you go. Bobby gets paid and he doesn't do drama. I don't know what that's about, but
wow.
Hey, a little home bridge shout out. I'm assuming that's where he goes.
I do like that Bobby gave the hey man, I get paid to do this.
Yeah.
Pretty
So
wild.
dude, I get paid.
Isn't that
to
right?
do this.
I mean, Milwaukee isn't that damn big. I would
That's
agree.
true. Milwaukee ain't that
How
damn
do you get
big.
2 hours unless you're coming from
Never been
Sparta?
stuck in traffic for 2 hours.
So I don't know. A lot going on there, but Bobby,
All right.
I think the gist of it is that he might have been late, but it's exaggerated.
Yeah,
I would say.
that was the gist of it. 877-794-1973. Billy, time for a little who's hot, who's not, brought to us by Donovan and Jorgensen, employee-owned HVAC experts, heating, cooling. These last couple days, you may have had the air conditioning on and the furnace
Bounce
on
that thing
the
back and
same
forth.
day, bouncing back and forth because of the way the winds have been shifting. We're about to switch into summer mode. I think it starts this weekend, and we're on to summer after this weekend. But in the meantime, Donovan Jorgensen is your go-to for all heating, cooling needs. Billy, who's hot and who's not?
Who's hot? How about Brandon Lau, second baseman for the Pittsburgh Pirates, hit a bomb yesterday. He's got 13 taters on the year after coming over from the Tampa Bay Rays, part of the Pirates' 6-2 victory over the hated but never feared St. Louis Cardinals. As the Cardinals dropped one yesterday, they are now 2 games back of the Brewers. 1.5 games back are the Cubs, who were idle yesterday as well. Who's potentially hot? I don't know. Maybe my man Jackson Churio was hot on the tables last night. Looked like there were some potential pictures that were surfacing online of him having himself a fun off day.
Hey,
And maybe checking out some local gaming establishments. I got to think Black 11 may or may not have been touched up if that was the case, or maybe that was AI too.
Let's go, Jackson.
You see any picture nowadays, you never know. It might just be AI.
You never know. Maybe he went to Dream Dance and had some dinner. You never know.
I'll tell you this: you go to Dream Dance, you better do that for his anniversary. They put a piece of cheesecake out, little chocolate accent there on top.
Oh baby,
happy anniversary! He'll be winning at home for that one. Also winning last night and remaining hot were the Montreal Canadiens as they beat the Carolina Hurricanes, who, guys, might have one of the unfortunate runs of all time when it comes to a conference finals. They're now 0-7 in game ones of the conference finals.
That's crazy.
And they had not lost a single game in the playoffs until last night when they scored 30 seconds into the game. They then allowed 4 consecutive goals for Montreal, including one from former Badger Cole Caulfield, and the Canadiens swipe home ice advantage away from the hated and feared and hot Carolina Hurricanes. Not hot last night, and potentially not hot Cale Makar, who there's expectations he will be out as well here tonight for the Colorado Avalanche as they take on the Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas Golden Knights trying to make it 2-0 going back home. And one final hot category. Congratulations, Matthew Stafford.
All right. He got some money.
55 million reasons to play football one more time.
How about that?
Talked about it for Aaron Rodgers playing one more year. Why not make another 20 million?
That's gonna hit the app pretty
Why
hard.
not make a quick 55 million if you're Matthew Stafford, a 1-year contract extension yesterday with the LA Rams. And Drew, how salty was he on draft night? Was he a little upset with the Ty Simpson thing?
A little upset.
Nothing $55 million can.
That's right.
Exactly.
Nothing a little direct deposit can't
You
fix.
guys gonna make this right and give me my number.
Giddy up.
Yeah.
Nothing a little direct deposit can fix. He brought the 4 girls, his 4 daughters, to the signing yesterday, and then I can imagine maybe took them over to the mall and had some fun after that.
I'm sure. That's probably the tradition.
Who
All
scoops some ice
That's
cream?
who's hot, who's not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling. Our injury report update from Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. The best in the business, Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Visit orthowisconsin.com. Quinn Priester rehab start for Nashville last evening. 3 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, all earned.
Yikes.
3 walks, 2 strikeouts, 68 pitches. So he made it through 3, which is good, but he walked 3 and gave up 5 runs on 68 pitches. Now, again, you can get fooled by rehab starts because the free swinging guys, it's not unheard of. And pitchers there are down there to work on stuff and maybe throwing pitches in counts that they wouldn't. They're just, it's a little bit like spring training. So, but you do expect to see slightly better results. But the main thing is, how did he feel? How did it come out of his hand? How did he feel? How did he look? What was the velo? And then what's the bounce back? What's the
Right. How quickly does he come back, and how does he feel tomorrow?
How does he feel tomorrow? So again, comeback trail. So the stats you take with a grain of salt, but those are the numbers are the numbers.
It still can't. You know what? He's still got to be feeling better after coming off of the mound because he wasn't wearing those jean pants.
Got to be.
Right. You got to be feeling better either way.
That's right. That's right. So that is the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin injury update. Visit orthowisconsin.com. When we come back, our current electric superhero. If you have suggestions, 877-794-1973, NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. You are in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. 877-794-1973, NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Facebook, YouTube, and X. You can comment there as well. Time for our Current Electric superhero of the day. I don't think it's going to be Patrick Beverly.
What would be fun, though?
It's going to be Bobby Portis. But Current Electric, call current.com. Current Electric, your superheroes when it comes to all your electrical needs, whether it's your outdoor setup, backyard setup. You're going to have the TVs out there, the speakers wired. You need juice in the backyard. You need your lighting set up.
You need that lighting to look good. You want it to look good so everybody knows what house everyone wants to go to in the neighborhood.
Damn straight.
For Memorial Day weekend, right?
You need the inflatable screen and the projector. You need juice in the backyard.
Thank you. Yes.
Gotta have it. So, Billy, who's our Current Electric superhero of the day?
We'll give it today in difficult circumstances to Kyle Busch, the two-time NASCAR Cup champion, all-time leader in race wins across the 3 series in NASCAR. That accounts for the main series, the Cup series, the Xfinity series, as well as the Truck series, in which the all-time Craftsman Truck series leader with 69 wins. He's the all-time Xfinity series win leader with 102 wins. He just won the truck race a week ago and passed away yesterday at the age of 41 with a severe illness and a quick, sudden battle that all of a sudden took one of the titans of a sport far, far too soon. He was a 3-time Daytona 500 series champion, won the Coca-Cola 600 back in 2018, and was, as Denny Hamlin said, who's one of the other best racers of this generation, said, we lost our Kobe Bryant. He posted that yesterday on his social media pages on Instagram, and there were a lot of similar responses to it. Number of different NASCAR drivers posting cool remembrances to it, including Carson Hocevar, who's one of the young stars of the sport, and many people got to see his celebration after winning a couple of weeks ago. He posted an amazing picture of himself as maybe like a 7 or 8 year old meeting Kyle Busch outside of his truck and said, this little boy in this picture hated you on Sundays, but loved to hate you, and you made it difficult to hate and not become a fan with the passion racing showed when he showed up to my hometown to race at little home tracks. I'll forever be grateful for that, from a fan to a hater to a competitor to a teammate and maybe even a friend. There were a lot of different guys on that Cup series that went through that, all those different stages of life with Kyle Busch, whether it was hating him as a competitor, loving him as a teammate with the Joe Gibbs racing teams, and then also being able to see a dude evolve in the public eye. Been a NASCAR driver for 20 years, dies at 41.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
Think about when he enters the public eye as a young 20-year-old.
He was a prodigy, man.
We are far, far from the people we are at 41, at 21. I'm really glad a lot of the things that I said weren't documented at 21 years old.
That's a great point.
And
he came up with that bravado and that brashness, and he
matured
backed it up.
and evolved through the years in a totally different sense.
Became a dad, obviously, all those things. And, it's heartbreaking now when you think of the family and how fleeting and sudden things can be. We talked about it earlier. I know a lot, guys. And, it's just the reminder of the things that are important, the perspective when things happen this quickly and how fleeting life can be. So, rest in peace and prayers up. And he was one of the best. He was a racer's racer. I think many NASCAR fans would tell you he was an icon of the sport because he kind of had that kind of competitor racers, DNA inside him that rubs some people the wrong way, literally sometimes rubs some people the wrong way.
Rubbing his racing.
And but I think probably garnered a lot of respect over time from a lot of other racers that probably appreciate it. And without question, his talent was undeniable. Won a lot of races, obviously, and he was just just a menace on the racetrack.
And if you want to, there's a couple of pieces of audio that I would urge people to go listen to. His last interview after winning the Truck Series race a week ago was incredible, and he said, "Why does this never get old?" He said, "Because you never know when the last one is," and kind of gets choked up. Says it, and going through some tough things now. I know more than ever. And there's a lot of people with a lot of theories. We'll let the doctors and the medical examiners figure out exactly what sadly played out over the last couple of days. But it's one of those, Drew, where you never know what someone's going through. And you never know what people are either battling health-wise, personally-wise, mentally-wise. it's a great, sudden, sad, shocking reminder on this Memorial Day weekend, man, to hug the ones you love, dude, because you just never know when the last time's going to be.
You can't say it better than that.
Warren Zevon, enjoy every sandwich.
Dude, everyone,
every
man.
sandwich, every moment. Yeah.
Because it just and it shocks you at different points in life, and you get this as a dad, and now seeing yours grow up. To think of all the moments that sadly he won't see is really, really difficult. However, man, his memory is going to live on for a long time. Dale Earnhardt Jr. had a really, really touching memory to him as well, right? As somebody that was on the track losing his dad,
had to deal with the worst of it.
Yeah, had to deal with the absolute worst of it. Cool to see everybody, whether they were a friend or a foe of him on the track, to remember him in the best of times.
And Dale Jr. and him had some really tough times in that sense.
Oh, man.
Big rivals, as you know, and Dale was kind of the golden boy, Dale Jr. for a lot of Rays fans, and Busch was, maybe a villain for some. However you looked at the competition aspect of it, he said he was eager and hopeful to continue to rebuild the relationship over time. I saw that quote, and it's heartbreaking to think of those things when they can happen. I go back to I go back to one of my favorite documentaries, the 30 for 30 at Once Brothers, about the broken relationship between Vlad Divac and Drazen Petrovic. Drazen died suddenly, and it haunted him forever that he could never kind of it's a burden. He couldn't repair the relationship. It's one of those things, like life is too short. If you do have those things lingering out there, if you think, if you're being stubborn about something, man, don't give up the chance don't regret the chance to make amends or to do what it takes to try and patch those things up, because it can be too short, and we're all in this ride together, and this globe is spinning and spinning quickly. So just thinking about the family, the kids, and I know it's going to be, you mentioned it earlier too, Billy, this is a big weekend for the racing community, Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, big
obviously,
time, yeah.
Obviously they, with the Indy, but obviously now they're going to be racing at Daytona, the Coca-Cola 600. I can only imagine it's going to be an emotional weekend at the racetrack.
Yeah, I don't know how it can't be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a cool memory to him and a tribute to him before the Carolina Hurricanes game last night. And that's another thing of like NASCAR in the South, different kind of religion, right? Like it is a different beast down in the South. There's a lot of people in the South hurting big time here today, but luckily we get some good things to enjoy. And whether or not it's a superhero in a race car or a superhero that you see on the ball field, we get to celebrate the real heroes here this weekend and remember and honor all of those heroes that have given us the life that we and the liberties that we get on Memorial Day. So this weekend, be mindful of that and enjoy it while you crack that one high life on an 80-degree Monday.
Yeah.
Snap into a beautiful brat.
Yeah.
Just remember exactly how we get those liberties. That it's not all free,
indeed,
but it is a beautiful, beautiful life to live and enjoy every moment. Enjoy every one of those sandwiches.
Well
Would
said.
you put the brat in the sandwich category if the hot dog sandwich conversation is a deal?
I think we could. I think
it's more of a hoagie than anything else.
Yeah.
But there'll be a lot of sandwiches, a lot of good ones grilled up this weekend.
And dap up your neighbor, connect with somebody.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dap up your neighbor. Don't just go and talk to him. Give him a hug.
Give him a point.
I love our Department of Corrections is what we call the NicolaLaw.com talk text line sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Brian and DePere said, Armen, I'm not even a NASCAR guy, but I know they're called drivers, not racers.
All right. Well,
that's from Brian and DePere. Hey, Brian.
A little nitpicking.
Brian, surf on over to ESPN.com right now. The worldwide leader in sports. The headline on the obit: Kyle Busch embodied motorsport's greatest compliment: he was a racer.
Take that, Brian. That's all right. Well, I think that is.
Oh no, Brian.
Well, no, I think the point is you can be anyway. You can be in a car and be a driver, but are you a racer? I think there's a different level of intensity.
Anybody in a uniform can be a baseball player.
Are you a baller?
You a ball player?
Yeah, a ball player.
You a ball player. That's a different one.
That's
I
it.
like that.
A baller. But yeah, he's a racer. That's what the headline says.
He was.
I'll take it.
He was.
Armen, you can wear that one. You can spike the ball on that one, Armen. Anytime someone comes at you and tries to correct you,
it's a little nitpicking. I think, Brian, is the point. But I don't want to. I
think you should do the icky shuffle right over there after that.
I mean, we're all.
I'd be doing the gritty if I was you, Armen. Why not?
Maybe I'll hit the gritty during the break.
Maybe.
I don't want.
I've seen Armen's gritty. We don't need that on camera. We don't need that one on camera.
You don't. But if you don't have energy to do the gritty, I suggest that you visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Check your energy levels. I can't have an appointment. I can't stop there on Monday because they're closed for Memorial Day. But I'll be seeing them Wednesday. Check out GameDayMen'sHealth.com. men'shealth.com. Nice people doing great work. There are clinics all over the state, one in Middleton, several in the Milwaukee area. They're nationwide for a reason. They help people maximize their lives. Don't let men's health be a taboo subject, and don't ignore it. Like you said, Billy, this whole Kyle Busch thing, like anything that's feels off, get yourself checked out, but make sure you're maximizing as well. They have the testosterone replacement, the peptide therapy. They have all kinds of treatments that can help you maximize things. Don't wait. It doesn't cost you anything to go talk to them, get a little blood test, and see how they can help you at GameDayMen'sHealth.com. All right, when we come back, it's wake and bake time. That's right. We're waking.
I'm ready for
we're
it.
We're baking.
Here.
We're moving. We're shaking. And we're getting ready to start a great weekend in the good land. You are in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. That's right. Final segment of the week. Heading into a holiday weekend, hoping for good weather, good vibes. Billy, you're right. Pause for a couple of moments to reflect.
Think about him. Think about all the men and women, man. They've given the ultimate sacrifice.
That's what it's about. Not just going to the store to crush your shopping list of cookout accessories.
Or what my man Marty in Madison has cooked up here. Have a great weekend, gents. I got 6 racks of baby backs and 120 wings in the grill tomorrow. Whole family coming over to watch the crew feast on the Dodgers.
120 wings? Oh my goodness. Now, how long does that take to
have that outlaw?
Does he have one of those big operations I see on YouTube at like Texas Barbecue? They got those big old smokers that are going all the way down the barn.
Hey, his gonna be a little more. He's gonna be a little more impressive than my Traeger. That is
6 racks.
I can fit 3 on mine.
I haven't had 6 racks. Well, yeah, I was gonna say you're the rib expert. What are you gonna do, Bill? You're gonna smoke some ribs this weekend? Because that's a pretty big.
Yeah, Bill,
Marty Madison showing some what's up. Let's go.
That's a really good point. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't have any meat in the fridge right now.
Well, it is the wake and bake. Bake some, you better get some.
Definitely not baking any chicken this weekend. If there's going to be any chicken or any brats or anything fired up, it's going to be on the grill.
Yeah.
And it's going to be over either an open flame or an indirect heat on that smoker. No, I think I'm going to stop over at a shop later on here, grab a couple of sausages.
Nice.
Maybe you know what? Maybe a rack of ribs.
Come on now.
Maybe a rack of ribs. No,
not?
Marty and
Nothing wrong
Madison.
with that.
It's a big Traeger. Marty, I gotta be able to. I want to see this operation.
I'm coming over.
We need to see a picture of those wings hitting that Traeger.
Yeah.
That's gonna be an awesome one.
Yeah, send them to the text line. Even if we're not here, we'll see them on Tuesday.
Yes, and we'll be hungry when we see them.
Something to look forward to. I want to see pictures of the meat.
Drew, you still grilling? You still grilling these days? You're going out to
I'm
eat?
Blackstoning.
Yeah, that's right. Blackstone. Yeah.
Yep, I'm Blackstoning as often as possible.
Ooh, a little Blackstone
today.
I was gonna say Blackstone breakfast coming up this weekend.
Could
Maybe
be. Oh,
that's
for sure.
A hard one to pass
Sunday,
up.
I did it for Mother's Day brunch. Have to fire it up again.
That's awesome, dude.
Yes, fantastic.
There's not much more peaceful work than just hanging out, firing up some pancakes,
excellent,
right into the sizzled grease that's already on there from
the
bacon that you
yes,
put on
indeed.
already.
And even if all you got is a George Foreman, you can still take it outside.
Might get fancy and do the blueberry pancakes too. Or
yeah.
chip or something.
Okay, yeah, 100%.
Let's go.
Might have to do that. All right, it's time for a Wake and Bake story. You got me hungry already. Wake and Bake stories are brought to us by happyplacehemp.com. Use the code HUDDLE for 25% off and free shipping. These guys in Muskego, we're not joking. If you like CBD products, if you've never tried them, you should.
You should.
If you're a customer once, the code, and you use the code, you're going to use it again because the products work. They're fantastic, the best in the industry, made right here in Muskego. So check them out, happyplacehemp.com. Use the code HUDDLE for 25% off. Billy, what you got?
Guys, it was a little bit under a month ago, I want to say. I should have the date in front of me for sure, but I believe it was a Tuesday night in the end of April 28th to be exact, when a few cult heroes were born in the city of Milwaukee.
All right.
When they decided to do the unthinkable or just test the limits of what fans could ultimately do. They brought the spaghetti in a bag to American Family Field, correct?
Let's go. Yeah,
you remember that?
Was remember that? Already a month ago?
Already almost a month ago.
Almost a month, I should say.
It's now taken almost a month for those heroes to inspire others. Or for maybe MSG to just have a different level of swag, as a picture of Mike Breen last night calling Knicks and Cavs. Now, tough night for Mike Breen calling the game because he is the hometown guy for the Knicks. Can't be a Knicks broadcaster while he's calling the game for 13 million people.
So he has to be somewhat neutral.
Somewhat neutral.
But still
you can hear he was ready to deliver a couple of bangs, though. He was
excited.
I don't know if you heard it in game one. He delivered a buh. Sam Merrill's 3 got a buh out of Mike Breen because he was ready to bang it. He was ready to bang it right there at MSG. Instead, had to hold off until overtime. Instead, a banging plate of spaghetti right behind Mike Breen is what took everybody's attention last night. Young lady sitting in some amazing seats at MSG. I don't want to even fathom how much those seats cost, Armen. In a sweet starter jacket.
More than a can of Chef Boyardee, let me tell you.
And a massive big old plate of spaghetti right behind Mike Breen. Now, I can't tell. It looks maybe a little too professional to be brought in a bag.
Well, she probably concessioned that. I don't think she brought it in, right?
I
don't think.
Okay, I don't know what's higher. The individual that before the season says, you know what we really need to have in our courtside offerings is a plate of spaghetti and meatballs. Or the individual that thinks, hey, man, game 2, I already spent $12,000 a seat. I might need to save some money on concessions. Why don't we make a plate of pasta and bring that thing with us?
Yeah, probably not happening. So my theory is, probably sort of like the courtside club. What do the Bucks call it now? Change of sponsorship.
There's a couple different ones, right? There's the BMO Club, and then there's the super exclusive.
So
spot.
I think that's what it is. I think probably she's got those tickets, which means she has access to some catering action underneath the arena, the garden there, which has got very nice, by the way. I've been to the Garden for the Big East tournament. I don't know if you ever knew that one. And they have some nice concessions. You can get sushi there. You can get all kinds of stuff. I'm sure she went down and got some
Wow, you were in those kind of seats. At the Garden.
I didn't get them.
I
just know you're allowed that some people can get them. Yeah, I just know some people get it. So I think it's more likely that's probably what she did is go to the she had probably a wristband on. She could go get some. Some nice.
Got a lot of beads
up.
on. Got a lot of beads. Maybe there's a wristband in there. It looks like there could be something in that.
What are those seats? 10,000, 20,000? I mean, for that game like that.
Well, a great question that DP and the boys were asking last night.
Yeah.
How much do you think Timothy Chalamet or Tracy Morgan spend a year on the Knicks tickets? Because if you're a one-off guy, you don't pay for those, right?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Right. Like, I mean, if you're a featured guest on Celebrity Road, Drew, I would have thought they get a little bit of a deal.
They're kind of comped, or maybe, or kind of, or.
But is there like a, hey,
where's the pecking order? Who holds the clipboard and the list?
Yeah. And I would like to know, Chalamet, hey man, yeah, we're going to comp you, but at some point, if you're going to be here 43 nights, we're going to need something.
Because I'm sorry, there's a lot of like non-famous, non-famous, not celebrities, but a lot of money in Manhattan, New York City. We can sell these to somebody for this price. So if you don't give us something, you're costing us hundreds of thousands.
Is it just a remarkable season package where it's, hey, I'll give you this deposit and you just tell me when my account is low on tickets?
Maybe like casino hosts. They have a special guy that sells those VIP ones to the front row. They reach out on Raya looking for celebrities.
Here we go. In 2020, Spike Lee appeared on First Take in 2020 and revealed that he spent $300,000 per season on his courtside
there you
seats.
go.
Okay, there's a great answer
season
there.
ticket holder for 28 years, which means that he spent over $10 million on his seats.
Yeah, but he got a lot of capital out of that. I mean, that spawned the Jordan Nike commercials, all that stuff with Reggie.
When it was pointed out that he spent over 10 million over 30 years, he said, I look stupid now.
Yeah,
but prices are up since then.
That's fair.
They increased by $600 per seat in 24-25. So that adds about $1.8 million. So yeah, it's like $3,400 per ticket back in 2020 for the home games. Now it's closer to like almost $7,000 for those two seats. So.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, but that helped his brand. That's my theory.
Oh, for sure. That's an investment, right? That's a winning investment if you're there. Now, Timothy Chalamet, he's just going because he likes going. I don't know that he's investing in anything.
It's like Stiller. It's just fans, right? Yeah.
But that's impressive. I wonder if they're grabbing the spaghetti tonight.
Those guys got to spend their money on something, though. You might as well spend it on a ball game and some spaghetti.
Might as well spend it on courtside seats and courtside spaghetti.
Once again, the trend that started in Milwaukee with our buddies.
That's what I was going to say.
Burt Lauderdale and his friends.
Burt Lauderdale needs more run and more love for this because it is trending worldwide.
Yeah, for sure. All right. It's been a good week. A lot of fun with the Cubs stuff, keeping us busy. Brewers, Dodgers, Memorial Day weekend. We're going to be back on Tuesday at 5 a.m. Have a safe and happy holiday, everybody. Enjoy the nice weather. Enjoy time with the family. Take some time to reflect, as Billy said, and let's get after it. Let's huddle up in a couple of days. We'll see you Tuesday at 5.
Safe and sound. Peace.